Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's Between the Lines. I am your host, Craig, and I'm joined on tonight's show by Connor. Connor, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, and you?
I'm good. This sun, I mean, I don't know what to make of it at this point. I'm on here and I'm half moaning about it, and then I know when I'm moaning about it that I'm sounding like an asshole. So it's great. I'm loving the weather, Connor.
I am too, yeah, but it's getting a bit draining, isn't it?
It is, but look, there's plenty of Liverpool stuff for us to have a chat about for a change because it's been rather quiet lately, but thankfully there's a few things after popping up. I mean, we've got a nice long list here to get through tonight. Junior's in the chat already. How are you, sir? I suppose, Connor, the first thing we should really have a chat about is the new third kit, which I thought was going to be the away kit when I originally seen the image, but it looks like it's about to be released sometime soon because there's a few images popping out here, there and everywhere. What's your take on the kit?
I'm really undecided on it, to be honest. Like, when I first seen the images that came up months ago, I thought I really liked it, but now that I've seen, like, the official images, I'm not too sure. The pattern is a bit strange, I'm not sure. You love it, don't you?
I absolutely adore it. I think I told you before, it reminds me kind of the 89-90 candy kit that I had, one of my first shirt, well, my first actual Liverpool shirt. So, yeah, it kind of brings me back to that one. Just say hello to a few people in the chat as well. Nathan, Lalu, Ben, Leighton, Francisco, Louis, Flatman, Ben, how are we? Thank you all for joining us. Connor's along with us for the ride tonight. Yeah, Connor, for me, I've seen a few people actually say it looks a bit like, was it somebody said another recent shirt it reminds them of, and I can't quite think of it actually. I love it though, I have to say, I really do love it. I love those geometric patterns on it. I love the darker grey sleeves, but where I feel it's let down, and I haven't seen absolute proof of this yet, but it looks like the shorts are the lighter colour grey. And I would have liked to have seen them the darker colour with a bit of red going through them.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen the full kit. I haven't looked at it too closely, to be honest. It should look nice though. I'd say it look nice on the pitch, but I don't know if I'd buy it, to be honest.
I'm all over it. I said it before. I am all over it. I've been waiting for this shirt for a couple of months now. I'm most certainly buying it. I'm unsure as to what I'm getting on the back, if anything, yet, but I am 100% buying it without a shadow of a doubt. It's I love it. I really, really love that shirt. Probably because my first shirt means so much to me, and I understand why people might not like this one, but look, I think it's much nicer than the purple one, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a lot more likely to wear it than that. That purple one's a bit out there. It is nice though.
It looks nice on my young lad, to be fair, like a 6-year-old running around and it looks fine, but as I said last night in the stream, there's no way that this bald fat Irish twat is running around in a purple shirt.
Barney the dinosaur impression, is it?
Yeah, that's it, sexually frustrated panda. Right, who else have we got in the chat here? Louis says the new kid is ugly. Flatman says good evening, Reds. Louis says hashtag New Balance out. There's always a hashtag somebody out when it comes to Liverpool, isn't there, Connor? There's always
yeah.
Something
We're obsessed with getting people out for some reason. It's just in our nature, I suppose.
Do you know what though? I would love Adidas back from the point of view of getting to have all those retro kits with the actual Adidas badge on them, because they just don't look right, the old kits without a badge on them.
Yeah, it does look a bit strange, to be honest. And like, New Balance, the deal runs for how long now? It's a few more years, I think, is there?
I think there's at least 2 or 3 more years, because didn't we renew it just before they changed from Warrior to New Balance, even though they're the same company? I think we renewed it the year before.
Yeah, I think so. So we're stuck with another few years. I quite like them, to be honest, because like with Nike and Adidas, they just tend to use the same template for every single team. It's just a bit boring. These ours are a bit out there and different.
I like New Balance. I actually like the kits. I like the clothing. I love the shoes. To be fair, I love New Balance.
The shoes are class. Yeah.
I'm with you in regards to Adidas. I would have loved only for their little dig at us when they stopped being a shirt maker. I didn't like that. I really didn't appreciate that. Nike, I just don't like. I don't know why. Maybe I associate them with teams I've disliked over the years, but I've never been a fan of Nike jerseys.
They're alright. Well, my only quarrel, like I said, is just the fact that they all look the same. Like you see the international kits that Nike made, and most of them just look exactly the same. It has that same kind of pattern and just the different colours.
They're always the most expensive to buy as well.
Yeah, I think they are as well, yeah.
When did this whole shit, by the way, come in about the 2 different styles of football shirts? So you've got like the fan shirt, and now you've got the €105 player shirt.
Yeah, what's actually the difference?
I don't know. I mean, judging by the state of the sweat and the arse of the players at the weekend, did you see that picture Dave put into the group?
No,
the lads at the Chester game, they said the material on these shirts must be absolute shite, because you could see the sweat in the players' arses of the shorts. It looked like they'd pissed themselves or something.
No, I didn't see that.
So if
or
that's
stuff like that there.
the players one, I mean, it does say that it takes the moisture away from the body, but that's no use to you if your jersey's ringing and you're running around with a heavy pair of shorts going full on Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, see it now. Jesus, that's mad.
It's not great, is it?
No, it doesn't look great.
A couple of people as well in the chat are saying bring in Nike. I like they're playing kits, to be honest, or Adidas. The junior reckons I should get Kada 8 or Fakir 10. I might hang off on the Fakir one just to be on the safe side. The junior says, have you heard anything about the Kimpembe links? And that's the young guy from PSG, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't heard any links of you.
He hasn't impressed me when I've watched him playing for PSG. Now, it has been in secondary games a lot of the time where he's come on as a substitute, but when I've seen the games he's been involved in, it's generally been the ones that PSG have been shit in. And I'm not putting that down to him. I'm just saying he hasn't been in with the calibre of players that I've seen him play alongside that's impressed me. So I don't know too much about him. I've watched him I'd say maybe 10 times the most, but I've seen no links whatsoever, by the way. Have you?
No, not a thing. And I haven't really seen him play much either, to be honest, so I can't really comment. But yeah, I've heard good things about him. He's just kind of this up and coming defender, isn't he?
So there's a couple of things that did pop up, and we see in the chat here a few people are asking about Maguire and stuff. So apparently Liverpool are third favourites to sign Maguire from Leicester. Tomo, Phil Tomo, the ex-Red.
Yeah.
He believes Maguire would be the perfect partner for Virgil van Dijk at Anfield, and Betway, the betting company, believe Klopp could be a genuine contender to go and get him. Tottenham are leading the way at 2-1 apparently as favourites to sign Harry Maguire. And that, I suppose, mainly based on the fact that Alderweireld is odds on to go to Manchester United at 1-2. So the Reds are 11-2 to sign Maguire. So push this out just past 5.5 to 1. So they're not saying it's very likely, Connor, but there has been a lot of chat about Harry Maguire lately, obviously because of his great performances for England and the size of his massive head. But would you like him at Liverpool? Do you think there's any genuine chance of him signing?
It's hard to know really. We haven't heard any proper links really, and I think we would have at this stage if we were going to get him. And like we said about Klopp a few times, he's not going to panic and buy players based off World Cup performances. Although he was very good for Leicester this season as well, obviously. But I think Klopp would have had his targets set out months ago, and I think Spurs I think would have fit him really well, to be honest. And they're actually in the market for a defender to replace Alderweireld, so I'd say he'd probably end up there. But I would take him if we had a chance to get him.
I wonder how much Leicester would be asking from, though, to be fair, if they were to sell him to Spurs, because they'd have to look at Spurs as a rival.
I suppose they would, yeah. Looking at 35-40 million at least, anyway, wouldn't you?
I'd imagine so, yeah. I mean, he's English, so you get the premium there straight away.
Yeah, the premium on top, yeah.
And then you're selling to a rival, so I'd imagine you're right. I'd imagine you're talking probably in excess of £40 million anyway.
Which is crazy when you think about it. He was at Hull, 2 years ago?
Yeah, so was Robbo, though. Did you see the picture of the two of them together holding up the
Yeah,
Hull
they signed
shirts?
the same day, didn't they?
Yeah, it's nuts.
That was brilliant.
Good moves for both of them. I mean, they timed that really well. They've definitely gone on to further their careers. Mr. Max says, hey mate, sadly don't think we'll get a keeper in. If we do, great, but it seems like Klopp is set. And again, that kind of leads us to another little part that we want to have a chat about regarding Gianluigi Donnarumma, Connor. There's a few things doing the rounds today about him.
Yeah, I seen that. You sent it to me earlier. What was it? Milan missed a loan repayment or something, wasn't it? So they're thinking they might have to sell players.
Right, so Calcio Mercado, now I've no idea who they are, but I've heard this company mentioned a few times with links to players, claim AC Milan have to sell this summer to ease their financial situation. And we know it's no secret that they have FFP issues. I mean, they've been fucked out of the Europa League next year, and clearly they have major issues. So Milan missed a loan repayment due last week, and the Italian sources believe that Gianluigi Donnarumma and Suso, by the way, both who have been linked with Liverpool, could be axed. Tottenham are also said to be interested in Suso, going by what they're saying. But there's been no concrete offers as of yet for Gianluigi Donnarumma. But I also seen a little thing in the Echo as well, hinting at perhaps he could be the one to go to instead of Alisson, that it would make more sense to spend money on Donnarumma.
Yeah, if we did go out and buy him for big money, we definitely get years out of him at least. It'd be value for money. And he probably will be an upgrade on carries. I don't think a massive upgrade straight away, but he has such a high ceiling. He's going to be fantastic someday, so I think it will be a good buy.
Even if we bought him, kept him for 3 or 4 years, And if he was average at best, and we still thought we needed an upgrade, I guarantee you, whatever way the market is at that time, we're going to get our money back or make money on him.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely make a profit, I'd say. Was Rang in the Suso links, do you think? It's like he has spoken before saying that he would be open to return.
He has. He kind of. I think he said something along the lines of he feels he has some unfinished business at Liverpool. But you know what? I could really see Spurs. When I heard the name Spurs mentioned, he does seem like the type of player Spurs would go in after.
Yeah, he does, to be fair. He's fit into their system, I suppose.
I mean, you've seen links to Eriksen to Manchester United. So if you're looking to move Eriksen on, or you think you may lose Eriksen, then bringing Suso in, that makes sense.
Yeah, they already played the same position though, do they? I think Suso is more of a winger than Eriksen.
At Liverpool, he wasn't really such of a winger. No, he was definitely somebody that played in the hole behind the forwards.
Maybe it would be a good replacement then. I can't see Eriksen going to United though.
To Barca.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said United.
No, if I did, I meant Barca. Apologies. If I did say United, I definitely meant Barcelona.
Yeah, do Barca have the money, do you think?
No, they don't.
How would this work out?
I don't know what these Spanish clubs think they're doing this summer, by the way. I mean, the only ones who've actually done stuff are Atletico, and they seem to be trying to get their business done early. I can see lots of people in the chat want to have a chat about Harry Wilson and lots of other things. And guys, it's going to be a couple of hour stream. Don't worry, we will get there. I've actually done on a proper agenda for tonight, so I know where I'm at. I've had a little bit extra time today, so believe me, we will get through all the stuff in here. Joseph says, posting again because I want to see what the lads think. What do you think about our right back situation? Klein to come back as first choice, competing with Gomez, and move Trent Alexander-Arnold into rotating midfield. This is the big decision that's going to have to be made around Trent, I suppose, Connor, at some point in the future. We've heard time and time again that his original natural position was as a central midfielder. But I think I've said the same thing again. There's going to come a conversation where he's going to have a chat with the manager. And I think the manager's going to say to him, look, you can be a very, very good central midfielder, or you can be one of the best right backs in the world. The decision is going to be up to you, and I'd rather see him stay at the right back role.
Yeah, he's really grown into it the last few months, hasn't he? So I think to move him over now wouldn't be the right decision, because I think he should be our starting right back as things stand. I'd rather him over Klein. I think if he moves into a central midfield role, he's going to be like very low down the pecking order behind all the new signings and who's there already. So I think even for his own benefit, I'd say sticking a right back will be the best option.
We've seen at times Klopp kind of play around with a back three, so 3 centre backs, and in that situation then the likes of Trent would be moved further forward, so it would give him that attacking opportunity that he might desire. But I just can't see him ever nailing down a place as a central midfielder or a midfielder for Liverpool Football Club, even on the wide side of midfield. Actually, I just cannot see it happening so much. There's just too many options at the minute. You listed them off earlier on the Twitter page, and there was like 8 or 9 midfielders there.
Yeah, it's we have so many options there. He's not going to get ahead of any of them unless he becomes as a massive upgrade. So I think right back is probably his best bet, to be honest. And like you said, there will be times he can play kind of a wing back role or even like a right mid kind of role as well, so he can get a taste of midfield action as well, I suppose, and get forward more.
Just kind of getting back into Joseph's original question about Klein coming back as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Klein start the season purely because Trent is still at the World Cup with England, and if they go all the way to the final, well, even if they don't actually, they're there till next Saturday, aren't they? Because they have a 3rd, 4th place playoff no matter what happens. And you'd imagine actually he'd probably end up playing in that if they get to a 3rd or 4th place playoff, because Gareth Southgate would probably want to give the lads a run out that haven't had much time during the tournament. So him coming back so late, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to think that Trent may well start the season on the bench and Kleiny might be the right back for the first couple of games.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it though. We have that depth now, so we're not going to miss him if he doesn't play for the first few games or if he's not up to scratch. So yeah, I think it's a good point there. I'd say Klein probably will start for the first few games, and I don't know if Klein plays well, maybe he'll hold on to that place and Trent will be back on the bench, but it's hard to know really. Kind of have to wait and see.
Mary says she doesn't think that the Donnarumma guy is any better than Karius and she'd take the Leicester keeper in a heartbeat. What I would say there is Kasper Schmeichel, he's okay. He's a fairly decent keeper in my opinion. Nothing wrong with a very steady professional goalkeeper. 31 years of age I think, which is fine for a goalkeeper. But when you're talking about Donnarumma, you're talking about somebody who's only 19 years of age, turning 20, I think, in the next few months. And you could have that goalkeeper position sorted for the next whatever length of time you can time down to a contract, to be fair, because he probably has 14 or 15 years of a career, if not more, left, Connor. So, I mean, his ceiling is only going to go higher and higher and higher, and he's only going to get better and better and better as he gets more and more experience. So for me, to make the statement that Donnarumma isn't any better than Karius, I just think that's wrong, personally.
Yeah, I think they're like he's not an awful lot better than Karius at the minute, but like you said, he has such a high ceiling, and he's only going to get better, and he's much higher ceiling than Karius. So I'd rather Donnarumma come in than Schmeichel, because I think Schmeichel's kind of just like at his peak now, and he's only going to go downhill. So
I don't think Schmeichel would suit our system at all, by the way. Not at any stretch of the imagination. I've looked at the way Denmark play, I've looked at the way Leicester play, and both of them are teams that defend very deep, last ditch. He takes his time with goal kicks. Every time he catches the ball or anything, it's slow down the play, let everybody get further up the field to the halfway line, and then play the long balls out to the wings to try and get over the top to Jamie Vardy or something. And that's not really the way Liverpool set up.
yeah, he could adapt though. I'd say he's a good enough keeper to adapt to our system.
Is he? Is he with his feet though? That's the important part, I suppose, in this scenario, because nobody's doubting his ability as a shot stopper. I mean, we all said he's a fairly solid goalkeeper in that sense, and he can command his area quite well, to be fair to him as well. I just think, does he have the footwork necessary? Because it is a massive part of what we're asking goalkeepers to do.
Yeah, I suppose you could point there. It is crazy though nowadays how much like emphasis is put on goalkeepers' actual footballing ability.
It's nuts. But even like looking at a simple thing, like you seen Courtois the other night against Japan, he came out and caught that corner, and he had the awareness there to just throw the ball straight out to Kevin De Bruyne. Now somebody, I'm just guessing here, but I'm imagining somebody like a Schmeichel who's used to playing in a much more defensive system, and I know at times Chelsea can be a bit defensive, but it was in his head straight away, Courtois, to look for Kevin De Bruyne there, to play it out and to start that counter attack. And that's the mindset of the type of goalkeeper we're going to need.
Yes, it's that instinct, isn't it? Just get the ball forward as quickly as possible. And like you said, he just did it very well there. And I suppose, yeah, Schmeichel probably doesn't have that same kind of attitude towards getting the ball forward. So, yeah, mightn't face too well if we did get him.
Sniper Jules says, I think the Echo said Liverpool wasn't interested in Donnarumma. I think it was different. I think they suggested that we should go for Donnarumma. I'm fairly sure I read that article earlier on today. I read so many things today though that I may well have that a little bit wrong, but I'd be very confident actually that they did suggest that he's a better alternative for us to look at than Alisson, particularly with the price point that we'd be talking about.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it, but I think I don't remember seeing anything saying that we weren't going to go in for him. So I'd say there's every chance we do go in for him still.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Look, Alisson's out of the World Cup now, so I mean he's on his holidays or whatever, but you'd imagine more and more stuff is going to start coming out now. Whoever is going to go for him, whether that be Real Madrid, Liverpool, or whether he's going to stay at Roma, but I can't see him staying at Roma. I think Roma have already made up in their minds that they're going to cash in this summer.
Yeah, who's the guy at Roma? Monchi or something, is it?
Yeah, the sporting director. He used to be the Sevilla sporting director as well. Really, really good at uncovering young talent and bringing players in on the cheap.
Yeah, he said something the other day, I think, and like reading between the lines on, he was basically inviting clubs to bid. Like I think he said something along the lines of, "We've had no bids as of yet, but we will consider them if they come in." So we could go back in for him.
The junior said that Spurs have Davidson, Sanchez and Vertonghen. We need him more, in his opinion. And I would say, yeah, we probably could do with him, to be fair. I mean, imagine having to pick two of him, Lovren and Maguire, Van Dijk, Lovren and Maguire. I mean, that would be a tasty trio to be picking two from, wouldn't it, to start?
Yeah, it'd be good options anyway, yeah. Then we have like Gomez and Matip as well as backup. Be looking very good at the back.
Johnny O'Donnell says, what's Alderweireld's story? He has 1 year left on his contract at Spurs, mate, but Spurs have an option to extend that so they can trigger another year in the contract. But they know that the longer they let this situation go on, the less valuable he's going to become, and obviously he's ageing as well. So it's no secret that Manchester United want to sign Alderweireld, so they're hoping probably to sell Alderweireld to United for somewhere like, I don't know, 50 million quid, something stupid like that, and then perhaps go and bring in a player, even if it's only for 10 million quid less, that they probably get an extra 5 years out of. That be fair enough assumption?
Yeah, I'd say so. Was there something in Alderweireld's contract that was going to be like a 25 million release clause at some point?
I think so.
Or was that bullshit?
No, there was something. Definitely, there was someone mentioned it before. I don't know how real it is. I just remember when I was in the UK a while back, I heard Talk Sport or something. I was listening to some radio station and they spoke about his contract situation and the misconception that he only has 1 year remaining on it. They did say that Spurs would and could trigger the option to give him another year. So that's all I know about it. But I do remember hearing something along the lines of what you're saying. All right.
Yeah, at that price it'd be a bargain. But like, even at 40, 50 million, probably wouldn't be too bad of a business either. Why don't we go in for him other than Maguire instead of him?
For Alderweireld?
Alderweireld, yeah.
It doesn't seem like the type of signing we'd make, does it, to be fair? I mean, what is he, 31, 30, something like that? Even 29.
Is he that old, yeah?
I think so. I believe he is.
I think he's that old.
I think he is. Let me just check. Or actually, you can check because you're not on
Yeah,
screen.
check,
That makes it easier. A couple of people in the chat talking about Mahrez from Manchester City as well. Has that been confirmed this evening or something?
No, I seen earlier in the week that it was going to be confirmed like towards the end of the week.
67 million pound or something like that, and 200 grand a week.
That much, Jesus.
Not bad if you can get it.
Jorginho isn't far away as well, I think.
I think you won't see much more business from them in this window, I don't think. If they bring those two in, then what? That's probably a combined 110 million quid already.
Yeah, thereabouts, I'd say. Like, they don't need to strengthen many positions.
No, they don't. They really don't. It is worrying.
Alderweireld is 29, but
yeah, so 29. So if he probably has 4 or 5 years left at the top, realistically.
Yeah.
So a club like United probably would be willing to drop 50 million on him just to get those 4 or 5 years out of him. But the way we go about transfers, we'd probably
buy younger lads,
or bring somebody of his age in on a significantly less fee, like for probably a lot less wages than he's going to demand as well.
Yeah, it seems to be what we do, isn't it?
See, Jack Wilshere signed for West Ham today as well, which was funny.
I've seen that, yeah. It's a good sign if they can keep him fit.
Yeah, exactly. If they
If
can
it's all
keep
ifs
him
and
fit.
buts. Yeah.
I mean, him and Andy Carroll out in the lash.
Jesus, yeah. They'll have some high wage bill for lads out injured.
They will, yeah. I can imagine it's going to be fairly fun times there. But they're making some decent signings, to be fair to West Ham.
Yeah, I think they just agreed 40 million fee for Felipe Anderson today as well, I think. That's a record fee.
That's serious money, but they did say that they were going to have to do it, and they just probably didn't want to do it under David Moyes till they knew if he was going to stay at the club, and obviously he decided not to in the summer, or they decided to go ahead and bring Pellegrini in, but either way, they've certainly been opening up the checkbook this summer.
Yeah, definitely. And who else was I seeing was linked? They were linked to Payet, actually, to bring him back.
He's had a very good season at Marseille, to be fair. I mean, he's looked as good as he was at West Ham, if not better, and it was really unlucky for him to go the Europa League final to go the way it was and for him to miss the World Cup.
Yeah, didn't he touch the trophy before the game or something?
Yeah, he's a prick.
I mean, that's
you know, if you do that, you're fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's
like,
the one thing.
West Ham fans take him back though. Like, they all hate him when he left. There was videos of him like stamping on his jersey, walking through the turnstiles using like a doormat.
I honestly couldn't say, mate. I don't know enough West Ham fans to make a judgment call on that one, but if the feelings were as strong as you suggest, then I'd say possibly not.
Yeah, I think they were very hostile about it. Like, really didn't like him after he left. I think it's the manner he left, kind of like Sterling with us.
Phil says Liverpool are willing to pay €90 million for Argentine striker Paulo Dybala. Phil, you're getting me hot under the collar here, buddy. Don't be doing this to me. Can you imagine, Connor? Seriously, can you imagine it? Feck hair's off, lads, but we have this little Argentinian wonder for you instead.
Imagine we just did this Dybala deal like Fabinho, just like we're sitting there next Thursday night or something, and just suddenly Mel Reddy saying we've made a bid, and an hour later he's there in the kit.
And then all of a sudden you hear the music going, I don't want you to be no slave. And then he comes in, diet chav in hand, strolls through the doors of Melwood, leaning on the shirt. I love it. That's it. The ad's done. Video done, made.
We should sell that to him, shouldn't we?
We should sell that idea. I'm sure I've heard that idea somewhere before.
We'll do it for only 5% of the transfer fee. It's a bargain.
There you go, yeah, less than the agent's fees. What else do you want? Yeah. You're getting everything. You're getting brand awareness. You're getting everything. Like, it's perfect. Welcome to Diet Chav Marketing and Player Management.
That's what we need to do, isn't it? That's the next step.
Well, it's gonna be everything. Like it's gonna be like a conglomerate of companies that's gonna take over the world, one chav at a time. Be
Get
part of the
chavs on board, yeah.
Chavolution. I thought of that last night actually.
Yeah, it's
Join
a
the
bit cringy, isn't
Chavolution.
it? It's a bit cringy. Part of the solution is as where I think it's just cleaner, isn't it?
It is a little bit cleaner, to be fair. And I think if we're asking people to join the Chavolution, we're basically calling them fucking chavs.
Well, we're all chavs, really.
Speak for yourself. I'm perfectly middle class. In the chaviest
Sure,
way possible.
You keep telling yourself that.
Right, what else have we got here? Joseph says, I don't think there's a keeper available that vastly improves what we have for an affordable price. I guess that's open to interpretation a little bit as to what's affordable and what improves, but I get where you're coming from. I mean, I think he's talking about the likes of the Kasper Schmeichels and maybe the Nick Popes and goalkeepers around that calibre, the 30-35 million pound keepers.
Yeah, just the keepers, but not that arse with, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. The one that everyone's going to say pretty much exactly what Joseph said there. Spending that much money and we're not even getting an upgrade.
Yeah, it's just like balls out, get Oblak, or just don't bother, pretty much at this stage, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm laughing at a comment here in the chat. Tom Connolly says, Maguire, he's like the back of my bag, full of hair and sweat, not a fan. Nice.
Well put.
Well put. Very well put. I disagree, but very eloquently put, Tom. Well done, mate. You definitely made us smile anyway. Jimmy says, hey Craig, how are you tonight, mate? Just joined. Did I miss anything exciting? Apart from my fantastic singing and doing impersonations of Diet Coke ads, no. Not really, mate. It's only just getting started. We're going to be on here for quite a bit longer, and we'll probably go back through the subjects as we go along, because when new people like yourself join the chat, we do tend to go back over stuff. So if there's anything you want to chat about or anything you think you might have missed, just whack it in the conversation here, buddy, and we'll get back around to it if we can. But you haven't missed anything extraordinary. There's been no breaking news, Rat and Connor.
No, just your excellent singing on coming out soon on Diet Chav Records.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the next step after the other one.
Chavify.
Chavify.
£5 a month. Chavify. All the illegal streaming you want.
It's not really legal if you have to pay for that, is it? That takes a good out of it.
Yeah, but they think it's legal, but we're really just giving them dodgy streams to watch.
Yeah, then we just go like, if anyone comes looking for us, then we say, well, they're the ones paying for it, like, so just go after them.
Yeah, all I'm doing is
not
putting
our
my
fault.
stuff into an open platform. Like, it's not my fault. Here, just have
Yeah.
a Diet Chav and shut the fuck up moaning.
Big news here on Indy Kyla.
Oh, go on.
Breaking, Liverpool willing to pay €90 million for Paulo Dybala.
Hang on a minute. I'm going back up to Phil's chat. Phil, are you fucking Indy Kyla?
Well, yeah, he said it like 5 seconds ago, didn't he?
You did, Phil. Tell the truth, mate. If you're Indy Kyla, get on here. We do a little interview with you. I mean, I'd happily have Indy Kyla be the spokesperson for Diet Chav.
I would love that. I'd love to get him on the podcast, like.
Even if he had one of those voice changers.
Yeah, has he ever done anything like that?
I think he has. I'm fairly sure he's done something with one of the Liverpool podcasts. One of the bigger ones now. I certainly think I remember one of the guys from the Anfield Rap saying that they spoke to him. Pretty sure I remember that.
Does he live in Liverpool now?
I don't know.
Or where's
He
he
lives
from?
from different KFCs around the country, I think.
Moves around not to be found out.
Yeah, that's it. Like he's probably like an area manager. He goes in to set up new stores and stuff like that, and train the staff in, and just while he's there in the areas, he pops down to the local football clubs, gets a little chat with the managers here or there, a bit of breaking news. Jim White style.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except in a chicken suit, because I imagine he wears a chicken suit.
Oh, no, I don't want to even think about that. You can't talk about the god that has Indy Kyla like that.
Well, I kind of think of him almost.
To the man, like.
I kind of think of him almost like Gus Frink, kind of from Breaking Bad. The guy that owned the chicken shop.
Yeah.
I kind of think of him almost like him, like a bit of a, he looks nice.
You think he
and
runs
looks
a
clean.
secret meth business at the same time?
Well, I wasn't going to say meth, but he could be running some illegal Diet Chav factories.
Maybe this is it. Like these random rumours he posts. It's all like code for like some sort of drug trade.
That could be it. Could be like the Silk Road.
Yeah, it could be.
There you go.
Not saying
folks.
I know
Breaking
anything.
news
It's
here.
all alleged here, but.
Indy Kayla caught him a massive cocaine bust. Cocaine bust.
Cocaine.
Yeah, Indy Cocaine. There you go. No, of course that's not true at all. He's just a transfer guru.
Yeah, he's just the best man on Twitter, pretty much.
See, Yarmolenko looks like he's leaving Dortmund. Who was it he signed? Was it West Ham?
I think West Ham as well, yeah, looking at him.
Fucking everybody. Jesus Christ. Some more hashtag free George Pickfords in the chat.
Free Jordan Pickford, fuck's sake. I see someone said Craig out a second ago.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so let me just scroll back and find that
Junior just said Craig in, so it's all good.
Okay, I'm still finding it. Hang on.
I think someone removed it, actually.
There you go. Craig out. This is a fucking dictatorship. That's never. I'm like fucking Mugabe. You're never getting me out of here. I actually did notice something last night. Well, you pointed it out to me, Connor, in the chat. That I will address a little bit later on, but not now. Now isn't the right time.
Oh, it's all positive vibes here.
It's nothing but positive vibes, buddy. It's all good. What's this hashtag fuck autocorrect? I gather that's something to do with the Craig out, I gather.
Louis said hashtag Craig everywhere.
That's generally what happens when my fat ass sits on a sofa anyway. It's hashtag Craig everywhere.
Fuck's sake.
The Raptor's in. Good evening, mate. How are you? Oh God, Connor, I am shit about keeping up with the chat every night. I keep saying before I come on, I'm going to do it better tonight. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to catch up with the chat. But you know, I'm going to look into my agenda and pull something out of my little bag of tricks here, and we have a little chat about it. Harry Wilson. Let's have a chat about Harry Wilson, folks. We haven't got to him yet. He had a great performance against Chester, stuck in 2 really good goals, Connor. He was quiet enough during the game, but he was very composed to finish those 2 goals, and it looks like he's been tied down to a new deal at Liverpool Football Club. What's your take on this one?
It's interesting, because he looked quality in that game, but then again, you have to look at the opposition. Like, it's not exactly a tough game to be playing in, but what I will say is, like, I was really surprised how calm he just looked in front of goal. Like, 2 of them finishes were just sublime. And I think, like, he just seems to score at every level he plays at. So I'd love to see him given a chance against tougher opposition.
Well, he played 13 games for Hull last season, scored 7 goals. So that's a pretty good hit rate, to be fair.
Yeah, from a winger, like, isn't it? Was he playing the winger up front?
I haven't got a clue. I didn't follow Hull that closely. I'd imagine he played as a wide forward, though, to some extent. So
yeah, that's pretty good going, like, to be fair. Like, in a poor team.
It's just over 1 and 2, like.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, that's a very good return. And I'd love to see him given a chance for the rest of the pre-season. But, like, the contract would suggest he will be sticking around or go out on loan, but he won't be sold, thankfully.
Well, what I can gather from reading the different sources and the different newspapers and stuff, there was over 12 clubs looking to take him. So there was no shortage of interest in the player.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Sure, who wouldn't want to take him, really? Any lower clubs. I think he'd be a great sign for any of them.
I seen somebody earlier on in the chat say, ha, fuck off Brendan Rodgers. Wilson's staying here.
Who else was he looking at to try to get up? There was some other Liverpool player seen.
I don't know.
Was it Woodburn?
I honestly don't. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, does he honestly think, though, that that Rangers aren't going to get first refusal on Liverpool players at this point? I think that's a deal they have with Gerrard, actually. I'm sure I read that.
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest, yeah.
Especially if they're going up north of the border. Like, if they're going up to Scotland, then obviously he's going to give them. I've seen something here, Connor, that it was asked of me, but we'll both do this. So Johnny says, Craig, rank Origi, Solanke and Wilson. And I'm going to... I'd answer that reversing the way they're written there. So I'd go Wilson, Solanke, Origi. That's how little I think of Divock Origi. So I'll let you answer that one, Connor.
I think I'm pretty much the same, to be honest. I haven't seen a lot of Origi since he left, and same with Wilson, to be honest. But just from going off the game yesterday, I'd say Wilson is a very good shout to be the best out of them 3. Like, we've seen Solanke is kind of... Like, his movement and positional and all is good, but like his finishing was fairly bad this season. I did get chances.
The Raptor
Origi's definitely bottom of that.
Is that a sweatshirt you have on, Craig? You insane? It absolutely is not, buddy. It's a t-shirt, I can promise you. Look, there's no way I'm wearing a sweatshirt in this weather. Lubomira says Liverpool have to sell. Have I missed something here in the chat, perhaps a little bit further along? But I certainly don't believe we're under any pressure to sell players at this moment in time. But again, I could have missed something. This could be in relation to fringe players or something like that.
I'd say it's just people saying like FSG won't buy without spending, or won't sell. Sorry, we'll have to sell so they can use that money. Like, they won't be investing. It's say some speculation that way. I don't think we have to sell that.
See Luis Enrique's after taking the Spanish national team job.
I've seen that, yeah. What do you think of that?
It means he thought fuck all of Arsenal, but the sounds of it, that's what I think about that one, because he would have been probably a better fit for Arsenal than Unai Emery. Sorry, that's his name. I keep forgetting his first name. But yeah, interesting. I keep forgetting, like, he has managed Roma, obviously managed Barcelona. I think he had a stint somewhere else as well in between. So I mean, it's really good for the Spanish national team. You know, you're going to get a good style of football there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. How long is he signed on for?
I don't know if it was 2 years or 4 years. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'd say to be fancying their chances in the Euros now with him.
Yeah, they genuinely do work in those kind of numbers, don't they, in international football? Because the tournament's every 2 years, so they either work in 2 or 4 year cycles with managers.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably 2 years, and then, like, depending on how they go on the Euros, if he wants to extend it then or not.
Lots of people seem to be really happy, by the way, in the chat here about Wilson signing a new contract. Somebody asks, has he physically signed it? And the honest answer to there is, I don't think so, but I couldn't be 100% sure.
I think he's agreed it, but hasn't actually been signed. I think it's just formality at this point.
That's the same with Brewster, isn't it? I haven't heard anything of him or seen a picture of him actually standing over a new contract yet.
It's a good point, actually. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I assume it will happen, though.
And there's been nothing on the main Liverpool site about it either, like, other than, you know, the few little bits a few weeks back. I haven't seen any new images of him or anything like that. Now, look, I know he's still out injured, and somebody does ask here, Louis asked in the chat, when is he back? Have you any idea when Brewster's back? Last I heard, sometime in pre-season.
I'd be lying if I said I knew. I've literally no idea.
I want to say that
soon.
I want to say that I seen somewhere that he was going to be ready for the American leg of pre-season. That rings a bell, but I know it is sometime during pre-season. They hope to have him back.
Hopefully he is. At least get a run out and then see if he's good enough to be on the bench this season.
Flatman says Celtic wanted Wilson, but we told them to fuck off after they never played the Chelsea lad they had up there last season and didn't want the same to happen to Harry. Don't we usually have some type of a deal in place though for our guys that we send out on loan if they don't play? Is it 60 or 70% of the games or something like that they're fit for? Then we have to get paid an extra fee or something. Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
It is, but if you're the manager though that's picking the players, do you really give a fuck if the club have to pay the fee? I mean, if you don't think he's fit in your starting 11, you're not putting him in the starting 11. Plain and simple.
Well, that's true, I suppose. Yeah, like the manager's not going to care. He's not going to be forced into playing players he doesn't want to. But if you put the fee up high enough, I suppose, at least if he doesn't play, then you get something out of it. Even if the player doesn't develop, you could just get a few million out of it. Better than not putting it in, like.
What do you guys in the chat think, by the way, about Wilson? What do you think is going to happen to him this summer or this season? Myself and Connor seem to be undecided of whether he's going to get an actual run during the season in the Liverpool team, or if we will just get him to sign that contract and send him out on loan. So I'd really love to know what you guys have to think, because it's one I just can't get my head around, Connor. I mean, part of me thinks he deserves a run, and then another part of me thinks, is he that good? Like, is he good enough to make it anywhere near that front three?
Yeah, that'll be my concern as well. That's why I think we should just see how he plays for the rest of the pre-season and then make a decision then. I wouldn't be sending him out next week or anything.
The junior thinks the club clearly rates Brewster and Wilson very highly, and I agree. He clearly does. You see, he must see something in the two of them because he always speaks very highly of them.
We have very good attackers coming through, actually, don't we? Like the two he said there. Then we have Woodburn, Kent, Ojo, Ajaria. Like, there's a lot of good players coming through there, isn't there? We'd have a hell of a second team that way, like a U team. There
is, and I've seen somebody actually in the chat here as well ask about that young guy. What's his name? Bear with me. Taiwo Awoni. Oh, Awioni. There's no way I'm pronouncing that right.
The Nigerian fella, isn't he?
That's the guy, yeah. So, from what I'm reading, Team Talk reckon Liverpool have persuaded him to sign a new deal with the club. Chelsea, Spurs, Manchester City were all reportedly keen to sign the 20-year-old who joined Liverpool in 2015, but is still searching for a British work permit. Barcelona and Inter Milan also expressed an interest about the player who scored 10 goals for Mouscron last year. The player, however, is set to follow Harry Wilson in penning a new deal and could then join Monaco on a 2-year loan agreement, according to a report, Connor. So, I mean, if Monaco are willing to take this kid on, he must be pretty damn good, or he must be pretty highly thought of, because they have a good eye for talent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's a very high level to go out to, isn't it?
It
Like, would
is.
he get games there?
Well, he must feel he will, and obviously Monaco probably feel that he will, because they're looking at a 2-year loan deal. So where I'm going with this is, we heard about you sent me a message earlier on about Alan de Sousa as well.
Yeah, he's going out on loans, I think.
Well, he's gone to America to train with Eintracht Frankfurt. I think they're on the pre-season tour of America at the moment, and they've a couple of games over there. So I think they're going to have a look at him, and if everything goes to plan, everything goes well, then yes, they're going to take him on loan next season. So that kind of makes me think, well, is he perhaps as good as we were all led to believe, or we all thought? Because if you have these other young guys, Nigerian young lad, and clubs are tripping over themselves to take him on loan for 2 years, and then we have Alan, and with the greatest of respect to Eintracht Frankfurt, they're not a huge club, but they're probably the biggest club that we've heard come in for him. I mean, he was at Hertha for a while, I think, as well. So no big clubs have been looking to take him. Even the likes of top Portuguese clubs or anything haven't really been interested in bringing him. So kind of has me a little bit worried about that situation.
Still is very young, though, isn't he? Like, if he could go out to Frankfurt and have a solid season in the Bundesliga, it could be completely different next year.
Yeah, I get that as well. But this other guy, this Nigerian kid, he must be something good. I just went through the clubs there that look to sign him: Barcelona, Manchester City, Spurs, Chelsea, and then he's off to Monaco for 2 years on loan. I mean, that speaks very highly about the calibre of the young man.
Yeah, like, how do these work permits work? Like, what do you have to do to get it, or how many more years? He has to work in Europe for a certain amount of years, isn't it?
I know.
Before he can get in
when we
England,
signed Alan Rodrigo, Alan de Sousa, we signed him in 2015. The work permit laws were changed that year and tightened up to protect British workers and stuff like that. So it's either that you have to have played so many games for an international team ranked highly by FIFA, or you have to be seen as an exceptional talent, or there's a few other things. It's a point system basically that it works off, and he obviously doesn't tick the boxes. So I don't know, mate. It just seems madness to me that huge football clubs around Europe can be queuing up to bring in this young Nigerian kid, and yet the British government or the British immigration board look at it and go, yeah, no work permit for him.
It's a really strange one, yeah.
It is, because you imagine
a few players I got now. Like, didn't Jesus get it when he moved to City? He got the permit straight away.
Yeah, exactly, and there's been a few other ones as well. I mean, if you look at him, if he comes into Liverpool and they give him a work permit and he signs on, I mean, can you imagine how much tax the British government are going to be making off that kid?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't seem to make much
Makes no
sense.
sense.
I understand the thought process behind it, that you don't want people taking away jobs that British people could perhaps fill, but this is a little bit different of a situation. It's a professional footballer. It's not a doctor. It's not a teacher. It's not an IT professional. It's not a legal professional. There's only a handful of this type of person around the world. Like, there's only, how many people actually play professional football in the world? I imagine a very small percentage against the likes of doctors, lawyers, teachers, people like that.
Yeah, I'd love to see them stats, actually. It'd be interesting.
It's just mad. I mean, you see other countries as well: Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, where the laws are a lot less strict, and I imagine the immigration laws are only going to get worse, Connor. And look, we don't want to get into Brexit, but I imagine they will only get worse when that happens.
Yeah, we probably should steer clear of Brexit talk on here.
Well, I did see that what's his face, Boris Johnson did a legger, didn't he? He packed in his job as foreign secretary or something like that and walked out over a disagreement about some fucking agreement that the party... I don't know. I don't care. It's not my bag. It's not Liverpool Football Club related anyway, so let's get back
I heard he left the foreign secretary job because there was no need for it anymore, because it's coming home.
Well, that's true, and then it seems when he's announced as the new chairman of Dai Chav tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he can be the CEO.
Absolutely. I mean, a man of his calibre. The company would be gone. We'd be fucked, Connor. We can't have him.
No, we'll just use him as our puppet, and then when we eventually get sued by Diet Coke, he can take
He's our patsy, yeah. He can take the fall.
Patsy, yeah.
It's all good, Boris. It's all good. Have a sip of this here. No, it's nothing like Diet Coke, Boris. Don't you worry about that. Den is in. He says, I hope if we sell anyone, the talents, we have a buyback clause, which I think we've done, or we've exercised that option with a few. I think Jordan Ibe, don't we have the first option on him?
Yeah, we have buyback. Who did the comment say about?
Den says, if we sell anyone who are talented, like, he hopes we have a buyback clause.
Yeah, that'd be my thoughts on it too. Like that Ibe deal worked out perfectly in the end. Like what did we get for him? 15 million. And
15 or 18,
look what
yeah,
a sack of
something.
shit he turned out to be.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Like, yeah, he really didn't fill out to what I expected. I mean, as I said, I've seen him a few years ago when Liverpool played Celtic in the Aviva, and he just looked like he was destined to be a top professional. He didn't look out of place
He's
as a
awful now, though.
16-year-old on that pitch at all.
Yeah, I seen him play against Shamrock Rovers as well. And he actually waved at me from the team bus then afterwards. So I was thinking like, oh, he's going to be legend now that he's looked at me. But no, went downhill from there.
My wife's friend actually played in that game for Shamrock Rovers against Liverpool, and he's a massive Liverpool fan. So it was like a dream for him.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
That was a brilliant game actually.
he said it was like a dream come true. He keeps writing on about it and how amazing it was, and I don't blame him. He plays for Cabinteely now. Actually, he had a bit of an injury, so he doesn't play at Rovers anymore.
Good story though.
He's a top player to be fair as well too, and a really nice guy.
You got to play against Iago Aspas, like
The
that's the
legend
dream.
that is. I think he's played
That's
against
the dream.
Liverpool a couple of times. To be fair, I think he played out in a game at Carlisle Grounds as well. I think there was a game out there at one point against Liverpool's younger team. I think he played in that one as well. Marty Waters, I don't know if you've ever heard of him anyway. He used to play at Rovers, now he plays with Cabinteely. Wait, what else have we got? Sarah's in. She says, don't get me started on politics. I've had enough on Twitter who think they speak for me. You're not going to get us talking about politics, Sarah. We kind of went on a little tangent there a little bit, but we are in no way educated enough to speak about politics, let alone British politics.
The only thing I know about politics is from Twitter. What I've gathered is Brexit means Brexit, and that's about it. I don't
That's
know anything
all. I
else
just
other
keep
than
saying that to Chris every time we're on the pod, and it's the only thing I know. Like, Squism says, Craig, what do you think about the new Firmino Tequila song debut at Chester, which players best pair with Diet Chav for a song? I mean, it's a good question. I did actually see somebody put up a Firmino song today on Twitter for that Dua Lipa song. Is it One Touch Is All It Takes for Falling in Love with Him, Bobby Firmino, or something like that?
Didn't hear it. I seen there was a few going around that.
Which I have to say I did like that one, to be fair. I haven't heard that Tequila one, to be fair. And who would best pair with Diet Chav for a song? I mean, are we talking Liverpool players only here? If we were to go to our Liverpool team, Jesus, you're looking Gini Wijnaldum and Virgil van Dijk anyway, I'd say immediately.
Do you think?
Well, obviously, no, actually, do you know
Are we
what? It
looking
has to
for
be
a proper
Bobby.
chav, like, or what?
Has to be Bobby. Full on fur coat, baseball cap, Diet Chav in a champagne glass.
Yeah, I can see that actually. Yeah, I like that too.
Diet Chav in a champagne glass with a lollipop sticking out of the top of it.
Are we saying Firmino's the biggest chav at the club then?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not even holding back on that one. He's King Chav. In a good sense, I love Bobby Firmino. I love everything about that dude. He's just absolute quality.
This really seems like a fun guy, doesn't he?
Ever since the moment he exposed his wife's genitalia on social media, he's been a hero.
Crazy fucker, isn't he?
Joseph's blaming you, by the way. He said that's what happened to him, Connor. You jinxed him. I think we're
I know
talking about Jordan Ibe.
he's seen me, and that was just the peak. Then he knew it was all downhill from there.
But he knew you were going to take his place in the squad. He knew you were getting to grow that beard, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
How's
I've been training up
pre-season
at
going for
Melwood
you,
last
by the
days.
way?
Yeah, that's why I'm knackered. Remember, I said I was knackered. I was out running all day at Melwood, sure.
Yeah, it must be tiring, to be fair, in this heat.
It is, yeah. I was outrun James Milner there earlier.
Sniper Jill says IB lacks footballing intelligence developed until last season at Liverpool, but then he's stagnated significantly since, and I think that's probably a fair show.
Who was this?
IB, Jordan Ibe. Sniper Jill said that he lacks footballing intelligence. He developed right up until his last season at Liverpool, but he's stagnated since.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say. I think just the move didn't really work out for him. And he doesn't even start for them anymore, does he? I think he's the odd time. That kind of shows the level he's at now.
Doesn't matter, we still got the 15 million from we're grand.
Yeah, that's the thing. And if he somehow does become a superstar, we can just get him back.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I can imagine that they're trying to ring the club now to see if Liverpool want to exercise that buyback clause, and we're just not fucking answering it. Let that motherfucker ring.
Seriously, lads, he's brilliant. Look, he can run really fast. Yeah,
Okay.
can he do anything else though? No, not really, but he can run, so.
Just see Michael Edwards and all there going la 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 la. Can't hear it, la la.
We'll give you Bogdan for him.
Al Chapo says, hi mate, I'm new, just subscribed, can't wait until next season. I believe we'll definitely challenge for the title. First up, loving the name, great name. Welcome to the channel, mate. Thank you for subscribing. We hope you continue to enjoy the content. And I'm right with you. I think Connor's right with you as well. We are hoping to be in a title challenge next season, Connor.
Yeah, that's the minimum, I think. I wouldn't expect us to win the league this season, but like we should definitely be challenging, at least.
What's the hashtag Pierce out, by the way? What am I seeing here? Some James Pierce poured cold water on something again?
I'll have a look.
You have a hotline straight to James Pierce, don't you? Like a bat phone, you've got the Piercy phone.
Yeah, and he has the hotline to my heart as well, so...
Well, you are BFFs forever, like.
Yeah, definitely. Piercy...
Thomas says, did your wife's friend score an OG just to say he scored for Liverpool? No, he actually scored in the game, as far as I know. One of them. I'm not sure which one. I think it might have been the one actually at the Carlisle grounds a few years previous. I don't think it was the one in the Aviva he scored in. But yeah, no, he did score, so he's a really good player, to be fair. I think he's just been unlucky through his career, but what a feeling that must have been, running out in the field to play against Liverpool. I can only imagine how amazing that must have been.
Scary, really, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, you'd be afraid you're going to break one of them for a start. That would be my fear, that I end up fucking up someone's career and ruin someone's trajectory to the top.
Break Salah's leg by accident or him.
I don't think actually in the games he played, I think it was more the young guys. I think it was
the
early
it was
pre-season.
The reserves pretty much, I think. But I think wasn't it a post-season friendly, the game in Shamrock Rovers?
Yes, it was. It was 13-14 because
I think was it the first game they played in the yellow and red kit?
It was the end of 13-14 because I remember thinking, I have to go to this one. If we win the fucking league title and this is like a week or two afterwards and I'm not in the Aviva and they're after winning the league title and they're walking around the Aviva parading the trophy and I'm not there, I'll never forgive myself.
That was the Celtic one, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Rovers were 2 years after that then. 2016, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was thinking of the Celtic one, spot on.
Were you at the Rovers one?
Yes, I was at the Rovers one, I was at the Celtic one.
I wasn't at the Celtic one, I was at the Rovers one.
I'm still sweating over the whole Napoli thing though, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah, hopefully hear back soon.
Checking those emails every day, waiting to hear back. Do we have a plan B, by the way?
I have no idea. What do you think?
I don't know. My plan, like BBBBB, is that
I'm not been paying like €90 to your friend, to be honest.
My cousin works in the Aviva, so that's my plan. Like C, is that I rock up on the day and say to her, look, there has to be a fucking empty seat in there somewhere. Let me through that turnstile, please. And like I can really pour the guilt on because she came to Orlando with us last year. So I can really pour the guilt on. Like, look, I brought you to Orlando and you got back alive.
Exactly. Shows you then.
El Chapo said something, Connor, that I've seen mentioned a lot this summer and by a lot of Reds, and it's play Bobby as a number 10.
No, I don't like that. I think he just has to play that false 9 role. I don't think we should change it. Like, you see how well he did this year. Like, there's no need to change the system with him.
The only thing I'd suggest is that
unless we got Messi or something and he demanded to play number 9 and drop Firmino back or something. Other than that, I wouldn't. Well,
I have heard a little bit that we may see Salah playing a bit more centrally.
Well, they all kind of play centrally, don't they?
Well, that is the thing, yeah. That is fair.
We basically played 3 strikers this season.
It's whichever one of them can get onto the ball over the top quicker.
It's pretty much it. Like, Firmino just runs out and drags players away and then just balls over the top and in through, and whoever's there happens to be central, like.
The junior says, I'll be back in like half an hour if you guys are still on. I will still be here, buddy. Don't worry, you can't get rid of me that quick. Connor might have headed off by then because he's sunburnt, hungover, you name it. Connor's suffering from it.
Yeah, it's a rough time.
It's tough at the top, isn't it? I mean, all these DIHAV conferences, all these flights back and forth to America to try and tie down contracts, conversation with Jay-Z, Kanye West. I mean, it's tough.
That's the thing, yeah. There's golf with Bill Gates there this morning trying to close up deals, like.
Yeezys won't have a fucking patch on DIHAV when we get home.
Fuck's sake, we need to move into the shoes next, do we?
Well, I wouldn't, you know what, that would be my dream. I mean, I'm looking on top of my wardrobe here now from where I'm sitting and I can count 11 boxes of runners up on top of those wardrobe that are unopened.
I'd say I haven't even owned 11 sets of runners in my life.
Oh fuck, I love them. If I had my way, I'd just have presses and presses full of boxes of runners.
Untouched.
Sorry, I think I've fooled somebody here. Darren says Donnarumma, have we got him? No, mate. No, sorry. If you took that from the headline, then apologies. No, what I was suggesting was that we perhaps go in for Donnarumma. It was listed in a couple of things today. I think the Echo ran with something that said he might be a better alternative than Alisson. So unfortunately, no, mate, we haven't got him. I wish we had though. I mean, I've seen a few comments as well in the chat, Connor, about people that are really, really getting worried about the goalkeeper situation. And look, as much as it's fair to say, if we start with Loris Karius, we will back him. Nobody is saying that we won't do that. But that doesn't mean we're not allowed to think we can get better.
Well, that's the thing, like, yeah. I just want to sign someone just to show everyone up, to be honest. Kind of sick of hearing about everyone's overreacting massively, I think, and I just want everyone to stop.
Yeah, Connor, but did you not see his fuck up in pre-season in the warm-up against Chester? I mean,
oh,
come
yeah,
on.
that definitely means so much, like.
Yeah, that lets you know he's going to let in, like,
Not
fucking...
like David De Gea makes mistakes in training or anything.
No, of course not. David De Gea never makes a mistake in his life on the biggest stage in the world or anything like that.
Of course not. So, nothing wrong with De Gea ever. Karius does one thing and everyone flips their shit, like. Just give the man a break, like. To have a diet chav and chill, like.
Well, to be fair, we can say that, but we did turn him down to be the spokesperson. We did test him for the ad as we spoke about yesterday. But
which that's what we should do. We should get that Instagram video and put a voiceover of it as if it's a Dai Chav ad.
Yeah. He can't even sue us. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him, be alright.
Can't see Dybala happening, says Sean Lunt, and nor can I, mate. I mean, it's wishful thinking from most of our parts when we've seen the links, but I'm with you and that I don't see it happening at all. You, Connor?
Heart telling saying yes, head saying no. I'd love to see him come in, but nah, don't think it's gonna happen.
Thomas says Salah can play wherever the fuck he wants as long as he keeps knocking them in.
Yeah, pretty much. Let him off. Let him score.
What's this Conor McGregor used to say? The double champ does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, that's just it.
It's pretty much the same for Salah, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Just kind of let him off and do what he wants.
Sniper Jill says he'd be excited with Donnarumma, but he can't see it happening. I mean, he's probably the most gettable of the calibre of goalkeepers we're talking about here, purely because of the whole issue around AC Milan's financial fair play and their ownership.
Yeah, I think it kind of depend on who else is in for him. But then again, Madrid want Alisson. If we go in with Chelsea, I don't know why he picked Chelsea over us.
Well, apparently Alisson had, if you were to believe the nonsense that was written as well. Alisson would rather go to Chelsea than Liverpool as well.
No, I don't buy that. Don't know why he would, if he actually genuinely wants to play for Chelsea above us, then he can just fuck off.
I see
he's an idiot.
Steve has come up with a view here. Chav and chill.
Chav and chill, yes.
Chav and chill. That. I'm having that, Steve. You're not getting a penny, by the way, when we start putting that on t-shirts. This conversation never happens, Steve.
Who's Steve?
Exactly.
What comment?
Exactly. What stream? What Anfield agenda?
Who are you? I don't know any of you.
Nathan says, have a sip of your Diet Chav, Craig. I actually do have one here. You guys see me drinking water, but I do have an out Diet Chav handy. I got a couple of people actually asking me to sort out the images behind me here, because I had 3 up and one of them was right behind my head, which was Adam Lallana. So what I've done is I had a Bobby Firmino one as well, so I've put that up now, so there's an equal amount. There's 4 images there, my big fat head stuck in the middle of them, so I hope that's a little bit easier for you guys to look at. As I said, they're all done by David Van der Peer at Liverpool Tunes, I think it is, on Twitter, and Cartoons by Dave, I think is his other one. Really, really talented guy. Drew the cartoon of me looking like Ming the Merciless as well, to be fair, and he's a lovely lad. He does great work, Connor.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I've tried to do a few cartoons, and I just always compare it to his work, because he's probably the best I've seen at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he is. He's really, really good, and he's a really nice
kind of
guy.
Set the threshold
he works with football clubs as well. I think he's done a good bit with Aston Villa recently, if I remember correctly. He was telling me what clubs he was working with, and I'm sure Villa was one of them.
Really, yeah. I know Villa do work with people, entire design as well.
And I think he did stuff with Bolton as well. I'm actually certain that he's done stuff with Bolton.
That's brilliant. I'd love to do that.
But you're here, Connor. You're not going
That's
anywhere.
The thing,
You're under contract here.
I'm chained up in Anfield Agenda Towers.
Yeah, you're under contract here for the next 24 years.
Yeah, you have to send me out on loan to Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, got pretend yeah, full on fucking what's his name? 118, fucking I can't even think of he's gone out of my
Bogdan.
head. Yeah, Bogdanovich. Phil says, but these Dybala rumours keep popping up, and they do, mate, and that's what makes it so damn sexy.
Yeah, the thing that gets it for me is like we've been linked with is it Vida, the Croatian fella, and who was the other guy, Grealish, and they were both like they came out and squashed the rumour straight away, but no one's come out and denied the bad.
I think it wasn't it David Maddock who came out and said that the Vidal it's not Vidal, what's his name, Vida, sorry,
Vida,
Vidal,
yeah.
the Vida and Jack Grealish rumours were absolute nonsense. And I agree, by the way, wholeheartedly with both of those comments because they're nowhere near good enough to play for Liverpool Football Club. Particularly
Especially
Vida.
that prick Grealish. Well,
Yeah, well, Vida, what the fuck? Like, he's a poor man's fucking. What's your man that used to play for us years ago?
Ivanovic or
No, the
Varnon.
other fucking. Yeah, Andrei Varanin, that's all he is. He looks like fucking an Andrei Varanin reject.
He really does, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, I couldn't look at his fucking head. I'd just have to chop that ponytail off. I think Lovren would pull that ponytail off him as well. I don't care if they're international teammates. No way Van Dijk's having that either.
No, no chance. That fucking Jack Grealish, well, I'd actually flip my shit if we signed him. I'd
Another
personally go there
floppy-haired
and knock the shit
motherfucker.
out of him.
There's
Just
no way
bait that
now.
off and tell him to fuck off. Not having him in my club.
Dybala fits the club, doesn't he, to be fair? He fits the Nivea image. He's got that Diachav brand awareness that we're looking for.
Yeah, I could see him doing those ads with the rest of the lads. Some of them really cheesy ads we've done. Was it Nivea had the face cream?
Yeah, the one where Gerrard's in it with Milner and
Yeah,
somebody
Milner gets
stands on the
crushed by a
car
dinosaur.
outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
by a dinosaur. Of course he does. Chavasaurus.
He still gets up the next day and runs better than everyone else in
Yeah.
Elwood.
Still wins the bleed test.
It's vintage James Milner.
Damo says the Carrier's Baywatch video shows an appalling lack of judgment generally. Well, to be fair, he didn't put the Baywatch music in. That was somebody added that in afterwards. But I think was it you or Chris or somebody told me that was done by a mate of his who's a pretty big deal when it comes to stuff like that.
Wasn't me anyway, but yeah, I think he's like a filmmaker, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's kind
Like
of
the
into
video's
that
well
LA
put together,
scene.
like.
It's brilliantly put together. Like it's cheesy as fuck, but like it's basically just him wanting to do a striptease, basically, and pour water over himself.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Craig, in the top corner of the screen, you look kind of Chinese, says Luke Small. I get, yeah, I get where you're coming from with the. I'm actually going to get Connor to take that little beardy off. I'm sure you can manage that one, Connor. You can just erase
Yeah,
the
try
beard
that.
for me and make me more like the bald-headed twat that I am. Sean
Yeah.
Lund says you need all three because teams just don't know what to do with. Instead of Fekir, let's just tie them all down. I think he's talking about Mane's contract. I guess. I think that must be.
Yeah, a few people talking about Mane there, I think. Wanted Real or something. I think that's bullshit, though.
Den says, I'm so tired of refreshing Twitter 100 times a day and praying it's a new signing for Liverpool Football Club. Starting to get a meltdown soon.
Yeah, I'm just giving up on it, to be honest. Just wait for the club to announce stuff. Although I say that, and then 5 minutes later, I'm back checking again.
I've pretty much given up on Twitter, to be fair. I'm very, very rarely on there anymore. We must release that Diachav account, though, soon.
Yeah, we have a backup one, but I think are people going to change it to their account?
Yeah, I think we should do that. I think we should pull the trigger on that one soon. Charlie Heat says all of our front three are impossible to replace. There's a reason why we have the best front three in the world. And I do agree with that. I mean, and that must put off any prospective signing as well. You'd really want to back yourself, wouldn't you, to come into Liverpool to play in the forward position at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Other than like someone like Shaqiri coming in who'll know he's going to be backup. But like anyone else, top class wise, won't want to be coming in for that reason.
Steve's calling me Fu Manchu. Love it. I mean, I love this. That's my type of banter, mate. I'm all up for stuff like that. Don't ever think you're going to offend me on here, guys. I get offended in completely opposite ways. As Connor well knows. Because he hears
I
me
know that.
bitching about stuff that would just be like water off a duck's back to most other people, but it keeps me up at night.
Yeah, especially that comment last night.
Oh yeah, there's that particular comment that I've been waiting on, but he hasn't popped into the chat yet. I've been looking. Yeah, that drove me insane. But you had to point that out to me. I missed it during the chat.
Yeah, surprised you missed that.
Yeah, as I said, I sometimes get lost in this chat going back and forth. Harry says Football Mercado have said that we're willing to spend 90 million on Dybala. Probably just fake news. I know, but it's so tempting, isn't it? It's so
You just
fucking
want to
sexy.
believe it.
Oh, the
That's the
idea of
problem.
it. I really do. I really would
That's
love
when
it.
we all just want to believe it.
Yeah, that is the thing, and that's why ITKs and this type of transfer shit works, because people want to believe in certain stories.
That's it. Like, yeah, it's just it sounds good. Oh, we want to believe it. If it's bad news, it's all bullshit. Though.
Nathan Carter says, Craig, I know Diet Chav is a laugh and a joke, but what happens if Coke actually take action? I'd be fucking delighted, is what would happen, because it would be
Imagine the
nothing but
publicity.
free publicity.
That'd be class. It's like, wasn't that Coca-Cola sue two random Irish lads chatting shit on YouTube?
Two random unemployed bums from Ireland that they have more chance of getting blood out of a stone.
Yeah, sue me for everything I have. I have nothing to give you, anyway, lads.
Yeah, exactly. Have a Diet Chav and shut the fuck up. That's what they'd be told. Or unless, of course, they want to say, look, there's 7,000 cans of Diet Coke, we call it a day, then, we can work on something. It's an homage to Diet Coke in a way, Connor, isn't it? It's what Diet Coke could have been had
That's the
they
thing,
sponsored
yeah.
the show.
Yeah, it's just their loss.
Exactly. But we haven't closed down all channels of communication just yet.
No, we're still holding out for the offer.
What I'm worried about now is actually the person reviewing our channel from YouTube.
What they might razz out.
Well, they might look at this and go, are these lads like space cadets? Like, what are these? What is this? I can't. Is this a parody channel or is this a real football channel?
See,
'Cause
you don't watch much YouTube. Like, we are completely normal compared to some of the fucking crazy fuckers on here.
wow.
Like, if you've seen some of the stuff that goes viral, it's just so stupid.
That is mad. Like me
Did you
considering
ever hear of a guy
myself as
called Mr.
normal.
Beast?
No.
He's literally made videos where he sits down live streams and counts to 100,000. Like, it took like 26 hours.
That's
So like we are completely normal.
What's the point? 1, 2,
Yeah, he's just like that, and he got like 10 million views.
10 million views. What if
shit
I
like that,
count to like? What did he count to?
He went from like he went from 0 to 100,000 one video. Then he did like up to 200,000. I think he's doing it all the way up to 1 million.
I'm gonna get there ahead of him. I'm gonna start tomorrow. Diet Chav 1, Diet Chav 2. Lubac says, Craig, you could grow one of those Ming beards. It's probably about as far as I could go, to be fair, Lubac, mate. I mean, I've told you guys before about my severe lack of beard growing ability. But yeah, I could probably just about stretch to what's in the Ming the Merciless image there, to be fair. Luke says, if Coke take action, we'll sue them back. They'll never see it coming.
Yeah, we have an army of like 40 people. Like, come on.
Yeah, we'll tie them up in legislation for years. They won't be able to afford the legal battle.
We'll just keep throwing random shit at them that they have to deal with, and they never actually get to the proper lawsuit. So we're all good.
Between Lionel Hutz and fucking what's it called? Fucking Saul Goodman, they won't
Saul
have a clue
Goodman,
what's
yeah.
going on. No, money down. I hope you guys get that reference, by the way. I only watched that episode yesterday, actually, Connor.
Oh, I fucking love that. We should do like a whole Simpsons podcast sometime.
I absolutely love it, and I'm gonna bring you back something from Simpsons World over in Universal this year. I didn't know how much you liked it last year, so I'll definitely pick you up something over there this year.
I'd be forever grateful.
It is class. I love it over there. This isn't a travel channel, by the way. This actually is a Liverpool Football Club stream. Jack Butland turned us down, apparently, said Louis. But I'm not going to lose a minute's sleep over it. Are you?
I actually heard that. Yeah, I heard it down. Not that I'm such a massive ITK.
Oh, hugely. You and Indy.
Yeah, apparently like his wife got abused or something because fans thought he was coming in.
So he turned us down. Well, thank you to those fans.
Thank God, yeah.
Thank you to those fans too. Well, no, look.
I'm going to go in a minute there.
No worries, Connor. No worries at all. I will take the good ship, Diet Chav, and sail along and get through this chat because I know I'm miles behind, guys. So I will get through these questions bit by bit. Connor, do you know what? I think things are going to pick up. Before you head off, I think things are going to pick up transfer-wise now over the next week or so. I think you're going to see things done before we head off to America.
Once the World Cup's over, that'll be done.
So for England, that'll be Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, they're still there on Saturday for third place.
No, I honestly think they're going to beat Croatia, to be fair.
It's really hard to know, isn't it?
I'm just bet if Croatia hadn't have had the two lots of 120 minutes and penalties, I'd have probably made it a 50-50 call. I just think the tiredness in their legs might play into England's hands a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a really interesting game.
It really is, but it hasn't got a patch on the other one. The France-Belgium game is going to be an
That's going to be
absolute
cracker, isn't it?
belter, yeah.
Can't wait for that.
I'm going full on both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, go on, Conor, sure, I'll let you head off and enjoy your sunstroke.
Yeah, I'll try.
Remember to lash the Factor 50 on tomorrow and get some after sun and put it in the fridge.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
There's nothing better. There's no nicer feeling than whacking on that cold after sun. Or the natural yogurt, by the way, if you're feeling posh.
Yeah, none of that for me.
Or just go into
Too
the neighbour's
shabby for
garden and rob an aloe vera plant and just snap it in half and give yourself an hour rub down. But look, cheers for joining us,
So
buddy.
many aloe vera plants there.
And I'll catch up with you very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
See you, Conor. Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That means I can get rid of these headphones, folks, because I don't need them anymore and I can actually hear normally now. I hate wearing stuff like that. Right, let's get through the chat and see what you guys want to have a chat about. Steve says Dybala is a smokescreen for a cheap Fekir deal. Do you know what? It's weird, right? As much as I've said all along, I want Fekir, and I do, I really do. But when you throw Dybala into the mix, would you feel Fekir is not a letdown, because that's a horrible thing to say, and it's not at all true because he's a quality player, but once you've introduced Dybala into this conversation, I mean, it is a little bit tough, isn't it? To be fair, I mean, I fucking love him at Liverpool Football Club. Excuse my language, but I would absolutely love him at Liverpool Football Club. He's probably the closest thing I can get to Christian Pulisic, who I know, by the way, hasn't reached the levels of Dybala in any way, shape or form. But, you know, you guys know he's my absolute ideal signing for Liverpool Football Club. Nathan says, Craig, count 1 million. You know what, I guarantee you I wouldn't count to 1,000 without fucking up somewhere along the line, or forgetting a number, because you know I can't even remember names at this point. So there's no way I'm definitely counting to, or there's no way I'm counting to 1 million. Not a hope. What else have we got? Luke Small says the videos like that are fake, mate, because he was being offered to be our number 2. Raptor loves a cheeky winkler. He does, but I love looking at them. I mean, by the way, it helps comments stand out on here as well. If you do things like that, it kind of catches our eye a little bit more as well. And watch the influx of fucking cheeky winks and shamrocks and thumbs up and stuff now. Steve says Chav Army. Absolutely. They won't know what hit them, Steve. I mean, the solution is taking over the world right now. It hasn't gone as far really as past Gory at the minute, but to be fair, it'll get there eventually. I mean, we're just slow starters. We'll take off. Luke says, take your hair from your head and turn it into a moustache. Do you know what? It's funny, and you probably think I'm going to say this because every bald lad in the world says this, but I genuinely have a full head of hair. I absolutely feel filthy dirty when I grow hair, though. So I feel cleaner when I have a shaved head. I can't go a day without growing it, but look, you can see it's starting to grow back there, and I do have a full head of hair, but as I said, I just feel dirty when I grow hair. But yeah, beard wise, I can't. If I could grow what I could grow in my head and my face, I'd be laughing, but I can't do it. I can't even do the Movember very well, because it just looks like a 15-year-old child trying to grow his first moustache. Den says, just maybe Dybala is thinking I really want to play under Klopp and that he loves our style of play. Again, Den, mate, I would love that to be true, and I hope to God you're onto something. And who wouldn't, to be fair? Who wouldn't look at our style of play and the manager that we have and feel like that they could progress or do well under that manager? I mean, players must be looking at the way Liverpool played last season and just thinking, holy shit, I would love to be a part of that. And at the same time, then, they must look at the front three and go, geez, well, it would be tough to move those on. But a young guy like Paulo Dybala, I imagine he would well feel that we'd find a place in our team for him, and I'm sure we would. I'm sure he'd be most welcome by the fans as well. Sniper Jewel says, what is this? Have like Hell Week on YouTube and sleep for just 4 hours a week and stream the rest, 1 million views. I've thought about something similar like that before, mate, and we'll probably do something for that, for charity at some point. Once we get monetized down the line, we'll do something along those lines for charity. We'll do like a watch along or something like that, a really long time, and we'll come up with something a little bit more unique, because that's probably a little bit overdone, to be fair. And look, I don't think I've said it yet on this stream, but if you're enjoying the stream, enjoying the channel, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, It's been great to see a couple of new people in the chat tonight that said they just subscribed and just tried out the channel. So thank you to you guys for joining in, and thank you to you guys as always for watching. But yeah, if you're enjoying it, do give us a thumbs up. It helps us get recommended to other viewers and helps other people find out about Anfield Agenda. Lubac says, Craig, you could do different brands for specific countries, like Chavinho for Brazil, Chavinsky for Poland, and Chavez for Spain. What a show. Absolute show. What could we do for Ireland? Chavo is probably the best one for Ireland, actually. But yeah, that's a good show. Tony Kelly says, what's up, lads? What's the latest Liverpool FC news? Tony, mate, there's not really much happening. We're all sitting around just kind of making polite conversation, praying for something to pop up, buddy. I'd say, as we were saying to Connor before we finished up, you're probably going to see stuff happen now over the next week to 10 days before the lads head off to America as well on the pre-season tour. Klopp has made no secret of the fact that he likes to get players in as early as he can, so I hope to God it picks up, Tony, because it's been tough trying to figure out what's going on recently. We've got Fabinho in, that's brilliant. We've got Naby Keita in, amazing, but we do need a couple more, and hopefully we can get those in over the coming weeks. Aaron Lennon says, could Liverpool be using the Ibala to make Johnny Cunty-Lock's tower his asking lower? I think he meant to say his asking price for Nabil Fekir. Great game. I hope so. I mean, I'm sure that the club are doing certain things if they're still interested in Fekir, and none of us really know if we are. But if we are, then yes, I think the club certainly hold the upper hand in the negotiations at this point, because Johnny Cunty-Lock's probably put all his ducks in one bag, saying that Fekir was going to go to the World Cup, he was going to do something, show his worth, and value was going to go up, and he was hoping for a bidding war, which hasn't happened as of yet. So I think if Liverpool are interested, the ball is certainly in our court, and I think we certainly have more of a say in this situation than Aulas would, although obviously he's the selling club, so at the end of the day he has to agree to a deal. Thomas Boland says, we'll get Johnny Carson on our side as well, he'll take the mighty Diet Coke. I think you mean the guy that represented OJ Simpson. I think that's who you're trying to think of, and his name was If the glove doesn't fit, then you must acquit. What was his name? God, look, it'll be in the chat in a second, no doubt. So I'm not gonna. It is Johnny something, I think, but I don't think it's not Johnny Carson, because he's a comedian, so it definitely isn't him. What is the guy's name? This is going to do my head in, guys. Cochran, Johnny Cochran, that's his name. Yeah, so I actually, is Johnny Cochran still alive? I know he had a brain tumor or something like that a few years back, so I'm not sure if he is actually still alive. But yeah, Johnny Cochran, Lionel Hutz, and Saul Goodman. I mean, what a legal team that would be. Escapado saying third place playoff as well. I think that was in relation to me saying England would be out on Wednesday, but you are spot on, buddy. They do have that to play. Tony says, who drew them pictures behind you? They're done by a gentleman called David van der Peer. Cartoons by Dave on Twitter. I think he's a website as well, Cartoons by Dave, and he's also Liverpool Toons, TOONZ, on Twitter. Very talented guy. They're very inexpensive as well, to be fair, mate. He sells them quite cheaply. And he also does ones of your family or your friends. Like, I mean, I'll show you one I have actually done, the full image that he did for me. He did me and my favourite Liverpool kid of all time. So just bear with me, Tony, while I try and pull it up here and get it onto the camera for you. Where is it? I have so many pictures on my phone, as I'm sure you guys do. So I'm scrolling madly here trying to find it right. Okay, so there's a couple here. So I've got this one. Trying to make sure that this comes true so it's as good as possible there for you guys. Don't know if you can see that or if it's too shiny. So there's that one he did for me, and then he sent me a plain one as well, which, you know, the whiteness of that is very difficult to focus on. But yeah, it's just a white version of the same one, and I think if I remember correctly they were around £25, £20, something like that. So yeah, David van der Peer is the gentleman's name. Very talented guy, lovely lad, very approachable as well, and does some work with a few professional clubs as well. I think I was saying earlier on, I know he's done stuff with Bolton, and I think he's worked with Aston Villa. So yeah, as I said, them images behind me, I think they're a tenner each or something reasonable like that. The Raptor says, so who sees Johnny Cuntylocks as a father figure? I should point out, by the way, if you are new to the channel and you're just watching and you see the phrase Johnny Cuntylocks in here and you're wondering who the hell we're talking about, it's a nickname I gave to Mr. Oulas from Leon. So yeah, it's the Leon chairman. If you ever hear us saying the phrase Johnny Cuntylocks, that's who we're talking about. Jimmy says Croatia 2, England 1. And just lots of people then, of course, saying good night to Connor. Yeah, it's always great to have Connor on. I really enjoy having chats with Connor and getting him on. He's a shy gentleman, so it's great to get him on here. I never thought we'd see the day where Connor would be joining us on podcasts and joining us in the chat, so it's brilliant to get him on. You guys know he's the talented designer that does a lot of our images, thumbnails, stuff like that. So without Connor, Anfield Agenda wouldn't exist. So he's a big part of the team, and he runs it with me. It's myself and Connor really that do most of the stuff here to keep this going. I mean, obviously we've got a brilliant team of contributors when it comes to podcasts and stuff like that, but it really is down to me and Connor to kind of keep the whole thing ticking along. Squism says, Dr. Nick, well, if it isn't my old friend Mr. McCraig with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. Oh, brilliant. I love the Simpsons quotes, by the way. Well in. Again, a lot of people telling Connor to just keep up the training and get ready for the pre-season. El Chapo says France was my bet for the World Cup. That's a good shout, to be fair, mate. I was Spain. I said all along I thought it was going to be Spain. I was obviously proved very wrong. But I think the winner does come from that side of the draw, to be fair. Whether it be France or Belgium. But look, whoever is in the final from the other side, they most definitely have a shout. I mean, there's no team in this that I think are going to look at it and think they're going to have an easy ride through to lift that cup, because the 4 teams that are left are 4 very good squads, 4 very, very solid teams. Probably a little bit more flair on the France and Belgium side of the draw, but it'll be interesting to see how it happens. And no matter what happens here for England as well, by the way, they've probably exceeded expectations to get this far, so anything from here can only be seen as a bonus. So I don't think they're going to be going out playing with tremendous pressure on their shoulders either. I hope Gareth Southgate, and I'm sure he will try and get them to go out and just enjoy the occasion and play the game like any other game. Although that's easier said than done, isn't it? Tony says, only joined, what's up? And good evening, Tony. Again, I think we spoke earlier on. Thank you for joining. Chat's starting to move quick now, so I'm going to have... Johnny says, Klopp or Guardiola? Now there's one for you. Klopp for me, Woody. For this club. I suppose I should really say that, Johnny. It's Klopp for Liverpool. Klopp or Guardiola as a manager, it's a tough call. 2 amazing managers, definitely in my eyes the 2 best out there. But for Liverpool Football Club, I think we have the right man in charge, and I hope people agree. I'm going to look through the chat and just see what you think. But if it was Klopp versus Guardiola for Liverpool, I'm taking Klopp. But look, I can understand people going either way for another club, but for Liverpool I just think Klopp fits their DNA perfectly. Joseph says, easy, I fucking love Klopp. Junior thinks Mahrez could start ahead of Sterling. And Sean says, how fucking boss is it inside the Anfield video of Klopp? The man is a legend. He's an absolute superstar. I love Klopp. Love him. Aaron says, hope Belgium beat France to get Fekir over the line. Well, he's still going to be there, isn't he? No matter what happens now, any of the teams that are there are still going to be there until at least the weekend because of the 3rd and 4th place playoff. So it doesn't really matter at this point whether it be France or Belgium, England or Croatia. Everybody's there till the weekend. Joseph says he doesn't think Pep fancies the rat boy, as in Raheem Sterling. I don't know, I get the impression that it's the exact opposite. I get the impression that he really thinks very highly of Raheem Sterling. Just going on what he's spoken about over his time in charge, he seems to rate him very highly. But then again, it is tough to know what somebody thinks inside their own mind, and what they say in public can be 2 different things. So Skipperdog says Klopp works better with a budget. Pep doesn't have a budget. Yeah, that is true, to be fair. I mean, if you're looking pound for pound who spends the money better, I would say probably Klopp. But they're different styles of managers that have worked under different environments and different owners, as you said. So I get where you're coming from. Pep has kind of had clubs where money hasn't really been an issue, whereas Jurgen Klopp hasn't, to be fair. He's had it a little bit differently. But look, Liverpool are now shrinking violets, and Liverpool certainly have a few quid, so we can't make out like Klopp isn't getting money to spend. Sean says Klopp all day long. Connor says Sean Lunt, I was involved behind the scenes in ARW but never appeared on any pods or videos. Yeah, he was, Connor. I mean, I think, if I remember correctly, Connor, myself and yourself made the first contact when ARW was alive and well, and we had a little chat about you doing a few bits and pieces, and from then to now it's night and day, buddy, isn't it? It's come a long way, and we've gotten to know each other a lot more since then, so it's brilliant. I'm absolutely over the moon to be doing this with Connor. Couldn't wish to be doing it with any of the nicer guys. He's a top lad. Lubac says, I think Zidane is up there in regards to top managers, and look, how can any of us say that a manager that has won 3 Champions Leagues in a row can't be regarded as a top manager? Interesting where he's going next, or where he looks like he might be going next, though. That kind of, if he goes to Qatar, that's a strange move. I think if you listen to one of our podcasts, one of our Transfer Talk podcasts, when Christian was on, he spoke about the project that was presented to Zinedine Zidane and the option to go over to Qatar and what they plan to do. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see if he does take that one up next, or if he goes. But Connor says he can jump back on, so bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to try and get Connor on here. I have to try and get my headphones back now, so bear with me 1 sec. Sorry for the dead air. I really do apologise. I hate stuff like this, but I just have to send a quick message to somebody. Cool. Right, we'll have a few more bits in the chat, and then I'll get Connor back on, which is brilliant, and we can slag him off a little bit more. We've been nice about him when he hasn't been here, so let's get him, give him a bit of stick, to be fair, wind him up a little bit. Squism says, Craig, what's your favourite kit? Mine is the 88-89 Adidas Candy shirt. Well, mine as well, but the away one particularly, because that was my first shirt. But yeah, spot on, buddy. You see me in the image I put up on the screen, that was that kit. That is my favourite kit. I also really like the 13-14 kit, strangely. I don't know why, but I really like that kit. Obviously, the season was magnificent, but there was something about that kit, seeing Suarez in that kit, that, you know, I just really, really like that kit. So, yeah, I'd probably think of a few more that I've liked over the years. The 86, no, 87, 88, I think. The one that was basically like the candy shirt, but it was crown paints. I really like that one as well. The Junior says, Pep has unlimited funds at City. I think Luke is heading off as well for the night. So good night, Luke. Thanks for joining in the chat, mate. And pleasure as always. Okay, just need to grab my headphones now so we can get Connor back on. Chris knows his shit, to be fair. He really does. Chris is a very, very knowledgeable guy. So if you've listened to him on our pods, you'll know what guys are talking about here. Sometimes I have a tendency to be a little bit temperamental, shall we say, and a bit reactionary, but Chris is a lot more down to earth, and he thinks things through an awful lot more than I do. So yeah, if you've listened to our pods, I'm sure you do enjoy Chris's content. I'm going to whack these earphones back in and see if we can get Connor back on the line. So bear with me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to try and add Connor back into the chat. Okay, let's see if we can get Connor. The joys of doing stuff live, guys, huh? Trying to get stuff done while keeping the screen open. Yes, we have Connor back on, I believe. Connor, are you there, sir?
Yeah, back.
Excellent. Look, there we are, seamless, like we never went away. Connor's there, brilliant. Right, now we just get the chat back up, and we will get this rocking. Cool, Connor, you're there. Let's hear a few words just to make sure you're coming through on the audio.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be gone longer there. Turned out it wasn't, so I put back on.
Excellent. So if anyone has taken the time to say goodnight to Connor, you've just fucking wasted your time, because he's made a show of us all.
Some conspiracy theories in the comments already.
Well, go on. What were the conspiracy theories again? You
know me in comments. The Raptor said I was doing push-ups. Thomas Boland thinks I took a dump. Lubac said I was doing crunches. And Junior said it was what lads. Thank you, Junior.
Well, the real answer is, I suppose, Connor runs the Diet Chav meth lab, and he needed to go and check on the next batch. So he didn't want his house to burn down.
Pretty much. Sean Lunt just said I went for a little wank as well.
Jesus, I mean, to be
That's pretty
fair,
fair.
you got a lot done in that time, mate. So well done.
I also got a bowl of ice cream here, so if I'm chewing away, sorry.
Sure, he's treating himself now, fucking living it up down in Connorland there. Ice cream, I guarantee it's fucking cart door or something as well.
No, it's like Tesco brand.
Open up a can of Diet Chav and lash it over it. Get yourself a Diet Chav. What is it called? A Diet Chav Flow.
Flow, yeah.
Somebody else has mentioned the grey kit that we beat the Manx 4-1 in, and what a day that was. Crosby Red, what a day that was. Connor, what's your favourite kit of all time? A couple of people are thinking, I mean, people show their age, I think, when they talk about their favourite kits, because somebody said the kit was the same as mine, the 89-90 or the 88-89 Candy one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's really nice. I don't really have a favourite, man. I haven't really thought about it too much. I do like that grey one that we're saying about the one we bet United 4-1 in.
That's the one where Gerrard went up and kissed the camera and Desaina scored as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a fucking class kit. And which one? I loved last year's home kit.
Yeah, that was
nice one
delicious.
for recent years.
I'm so glad we kept the shade of red, by the way. I know some people felt it wasn't a Liverpool shade, but I really, really liked it. People are, by the way, are adamant you went off for a wank. Adamant.
I was saying, went to the toilet, had a kebab, sorting his wife, quick run to Tesco. Fuck's sake.
There you go.
Sean said, sounds like he's a mush, got a soulful voice. I've been told I'm very like
Barry White.
Barry White, yeah.
He's the white Barry White. The Wexford Barry
All
White.
white.
Well, that's what somebody said. We could have different brands of Diet Chav for different countries. So, like, we could have Chavsky for, like, Russia and stuff like that. And Chavez for Spain and things like that.
I've seen someone said Andrei Chavchenko.
There you go. Chavchenko
one.
Park. We could rename it Chavchenko Park when we go back over to the Ukraine.
Yeah, good show.
Jimmy says he loves the 94-95 white and green kit with the 3 black stripes on each side. That's the checkerboard kit, isn't it? The chessboard jersey. I always think of Robbie Fowler having bleached blonde hair when I think of that kit, Jimmy, and it's an absolute belter kit. I love the grandfather collar on it as well, which always appeals to me. The Juventus shirt last season I bought just because I had that grandfather collar. I've actually never been brave enough to wear that shirt on this stream, by the way, Connor. If I ever am wearing it during the day when I go to do a stream on here, I get changed before I do the stream.
Just leave it on.
Yeah, no, I'm not brave enough to come on here in the Juventus top and do a stream. I'd be fucking slaughtered, and rightly so. Because
Yeah, that's true. Fair.
Although, to be fair, I've worn an Atlanta United shirt on here, but
That's a bit different though.
yeah, they can't really be seen as competition, can they? By the way, guys, by the fucking way, have you seen what Emre Can has come out and said?
No, what was that?
That he joined Juventus because...
Following the footsteps of Zidane or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but he had a little sly dig about winning trophies as well.
Well, like winning the same trophy to win every year, that's
Yeah,
not hard at all.
He said that he loves the what's the word I'm looking for? The project, which is the line everybody comes out with, which is nonsense at the club. He wants to win the league title, obviously, but then he wants to go and win the Champions League with Juventus, and that ain't happening, to be fair. We've much more chance of winning the fucking Champions League than Juventus have.
Well, to be fair, if they get Ronaldo.
I still don't see them winning the Champions League.
No, probably not, but they have a good chance to.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit unnecessary. And look, I know you have to go into your new club and you have to, give it the big one and all, but I didn't really hear much affinity towards Liverpool coming out of his mouth. He did deny any rift with Jurgen Klopp. He said there was no fallout with Jurgen Klopp or anything like that, but I never heard anything really said about the fans or his time at Liverpool was great or anything like that.
Yeah, he didn't say an awful lot, to be fair, but like he never disrespected the club too much, and like he always just pulled his head down and did what he had to do when he was at the club. So you can't fault him too much, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not like he's a local lad or he's a Liverpool fan or anything.
He was very professional, I will say that, during his entire time with the club, even when his contract was running down. I never felt like he didn't give a shit on the field. I always felt like he went out and tried.
Yeah, he always gave his all out on the pitch, so you can't fault him too much.
Jimmy says not the checkerboard one, older than that. Right, I'm trying to think back here then. Oh, yes. Are you talking about the one that had the 3 Adidas things up here on it? Is it that one? So it was green and white, but I had the 3 Adidas stripes up here. It's the one, when I think of that kit, or is it the one that had green and white and I had the 3 black Adidas stripes down the stomach part of the kit, Jimmy? I think of Neil Razor Ruddock when I think of that kit, by the way. Sean says, love the way you guys get involved with the chat. That's a unique quality. Just a belter channel, lads. And do you know what, Connor? This may be my naivety because, as I've admitted many times, I don't watch much stuff on YouTube. But I would have assumed that everybody gets stuck into the chat when people take the time to come on and watch their streams.
An awful lot of channels do live streams, I guess, though. Like, most of them just do normal videos, which are great as well, obviously, but it's always good to have this like one-on-one interaction with everyone.
Yeah, and I do love pre-recorded stuff myself, and we will be doing more stuff like that, Connor, as the season goes on, as the year goes on. We'll be probably popping out and about and doing a bit of filming out and around as well, and doing some more stuff live together. But as we stand, as things are going, live streams are the best way of us to reach out to people now, because there's not much happening, and we want to help, try and grow the channel and meet as many Reds as possible. So again, I would have just assumed that if you are doing live streams, people take the time to write the comments and come and watch your streams, that the decent thing to do is get in there and get to know everybody.
Yeah, it's just it, like, and it's just a bit of crack as well, isn't it? We all have a bit of fun on here.
It is, and it's brilliant to see the same people popping on every night, and you get all these kind of inside jokes with people and stuff like that, and the whole Diet Chav thing. And I mean, I couldn't imagine an experience of YouTube now without I've gotten to know all the people in the chat over the past few weeks. It's been brilliant. It's been great crack.
Yeah, it's steady. I love coming on here.
Sean Lunt says he heard the Emre Can comments and he's lost his respect completely. Now, look, I suppose a little bit of this we do have to take with a pinch of salt, because anybody going into a new club, it is his job to start winning over those fans pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, they're hardly going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I love my old club. They're much better than here." Like, they're always going to come out and just say these things just to butter them up, I suppose.
Den says that Emre Can wanted the autopilot route to the Scudetto, which is a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, well, like, it's going to be so easy for him to win it, isn't it? And like, Chan isn't exactly going to be integral to that. He's going to be like just part of it.
It was really, like, last year was probably the closest they've been running in a good while. Napoli really put all their eggs in one basket to try and win the Scudetto last year. Like, they went full out to win the league, really 100,000,000%. Like, even sacrificed the European competition to try and win that league title, and they still managed to fuck it up at the end.
Yeah, it was a shame, wasn't it? They were really close. I think everyone was shouting them on towards the end.
Oh, I loved watching Napoli. I mean, Sarri going to Chelsea does worry me a little bit, because I really...
Is he actually going, though?
They're still humming and hawing over the fucking money that Napoli somehow feel they're owed for a manager that they're about to sack anyway.
Yeah, is Ancelotti not there now?
Technically, Sarri is the manager still, even though everybody knows when their pre-season starts very soon that Carlo Ancelotti will be taking training. It's an absolute farcical situation.
So they're basically just holding out for this money then?
I think the way they're looking at it is they know Chelsea can't do anything until they get a manager in place, and they know that they're in a position where they basically have two. So in their eyes, they see this as 6 or 7 million quid almost guaranteed, because the longer it goes on, the longer Chelsea's pre-season goes without a manager, a plan in place, transfer business in place, and they know that the pressure is on Chelsea.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. That club's just in a mess, though.
It really is. It's not... Yeah, it really is. And look, this is, I suppose... Now look, he hasn't pulled all his money out of the club. I suppose we should say that. It is strange, and it is the worry when you have somebody like Abramovich there, that one day he could get bored, he could get pissed off, and he could literally bury that club.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what will happen there.
I think they owe him a ridiculous amount of money.
I don't really know, to be honest, how that works, but yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens. Like, it's going to be a big season for them.
Louis says, to be fair to Emre Can, he did make a goodbye video on Instagram, and I have to hands up in the air and say I don't use Instagram, mate, so I didn't see that. So if he did, then you know what, fair play.
Didn't see
Damo,
it either.
Damo says if Chan wanted to win a league title, we should have loaned him to Celtic. But they're going to lose the league to Rangers this year. Stevie G up there dominating.
Imagine they do win it.
I heard somebody
Some
trying
achievement by him.
I heard somebody trying to describe the Rangers side under Stevie G already as like the '82 Italian team.
Fuck's sake.
I thought that was a little bit over the top.
After all, one friendly.
That they won 6-0, but then Celtic go over to Dublin, play Shamrock Rovers the next night and win 7-0.
Sake.
So even at that one, they're outdoing. I mean, that job, to be fair, is a massive job for him to go up and try and do to topple Celtic. A club that they certainly have much more financial backing than Rangers do at this moment in time. Now, when it goes fan for fan, they both have amazingly loyal fan bases. Even when Rangers went down through the divisions, they still sold out all their away allocations. I think Ibrox was pretty much full every week as well.
Yeah, you can never fault that. Like, the fans are unbelievable up in Scotland, and like you said, it will be a massive job for him. But it's going to be some achievement if he can do it. Even if it takes him 2 or 3 years, it'll be a massive achievement by him.
I finally got the shirt right with Jimmy. It was the one I was saying with the little stripes on it. So yeah, it was a nice shirt, by the way. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think back about it now. Is it Dean Saunders I think of in the home one, and then the away one I somehow think of Neil Razor Ruddock. I don't know if you even know what kit we're talking about here, Connor.
No clue. I didn't hear which one you're on about.
95, 96 green and white kit with a little bit of black on it.
Think you know the one? I'll look it up.
What else have we got? Tony Kelly says he will win the league with Juventus, but they're the strongest team with the most amount of money, so obviously they'll win it easily. I get you. You're spot on. The Champions League thing, though, I think is a push. I think he probably had a better chance of winning that with Liverpool. I mean, look how close they came last year. They're one performance away from walking away with the Champions League trophy. So, look, I think we all know why he left. He knows that league is probably more suited to his style of play than the hustle bustle of the Premier League. And he probably going to go in there. He's probably going to replace Khedira. And he probably sees an easier lifestyle over there, to be fair.
Yeah, and like you said, just the whole tempo of the Italian game suits him a lot better. So he'll look twice the player over there. And he's guaranteed trophies, so I suppose it makes sense, really. And the money as well.
El Chapo says, Chan always gave 100%, but if he doesn't want to play for us, why should our fans give a fuck about him? And you know what? That's a pretty fair point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There's no need to slag him off, I suppose, but there's no need to really lament, is that the word I'm looking for? Lament on him too much either.
Yeah, he's gone. That's it. It's over.
Oh, Tom says, "Oh, Chavlies," the name for the Irish brand of it.
I love it.
God, I thought I'd call up with the chat. I give up at this point. I'm useless. I hate to see as we grow and we get bigger and bigger, Connor, and this chat keeps getting faster and faster. How the hell I'm gonna cope? Because I really do try and get through as many as possible.
Yeah, it will get to the point where it's impossible, but like, we'll try our best.
David Rybeck asks, do you guys think Origi is better than Ngog was? And I give him that one. I haven't given Origi much praise on this channel, but I would put him ahead of David Ngog.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree as well.
And the juniors.
No, he's not that bad.
The junior comes straight in with bring back Ryan Babel.
As a manager or player or like running the fucking canteen or something.
He's still playing, isn't he, over at Besiktas?
I think he's Turkey, isn't he? Yeah.
Damo says, wasn't there pictures of Conte taking Chelsea training today? Messed up club. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine they are back, Damo, definitely. And Conte is still the manager, so they would be doing pre-season training. I mean, dead man walking is he probably hears that. The players probably fucking shouting that at Conte when he walks along into the training, going, dead man walking. You know, like, he's not going to be there. I mean, it's just a matter of working out how they're going to sack him and how much they can get away with not giving him by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're really cheapskates on this, aren't they?
They are, I mean, but how much have they paid out to managers in severance packages over the years?
Oh, I don't even want to know. It's ridiculous. Such a joke of a club nowadays.
The junior says, yeah, he is taking pre-season training. What a weird club. Johnny says, Willian and Hazard want to leave Chelsea. And look, I think Hazard's wanted to leave for a few years, Connor, if I'm being honest. I just don't think he's got the move yet.
I think, yeah, he's always said that if someone like PSG came in, it'd be hard to turn him down. I assume the same with Madrid as well.
There was
So
I seen
say he
somebody
could go.
posted on Twitter earlier on. They put it Messi had scored 66 goals in the calendar year or something, but they said Hazard hadn't scored one. That can't.
When was this?
Today. They said Messi had scored. Somebody was trying to compare Hazard being better than Messi or taking over the mantle from Messi. And somebody posted up that Messi had scored 66 goals in the last calendar year and Hazard hadn't scored one. And that cannot be true.
How do you not have scored any?
He has to. Look, I haven't paid that much attention to Chelsea, but surely to Jesus Hazard has scored a goal in the past year.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He has
He
to
went
have.
a year without it, like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
I don't know, but he has
Not
to have.
recently.
That is nuts. But yeah, both of them wanting to leave Chelsea. Hazard, look, he's made no secret, as I said, he wants to play at Real Madrid by the looks of things. He's done himself no harm with the World Cup he's had.
Yeah, he has been brilliant for Belgium, to be fair, in the last few games. Like, Belgium have really grown into that tournament as went on, and he's only gotten better and better.
As has Lukaku, and it kills me to say that, but I think he has been absolutely immense leading that front line.
It just shows he doesn't it? Like, Mourinho doesn't get the best out of him.
But Roberto fucking Martinez does.
It's crazy, like, how you think about
That says a lot for El Jose, doesn't it?
it. It does.
Lubac has got a great question here, and I'd like to see a few people in the chat answer this as well. Babel or Balotelli, Connor?
Ooh. As in who I'd want now, or who's just the better player? Or just better banter?
Who do you think was the better player for Liverpool? Let's go with.
Oh, Babel, definitely. Babel was alright, like.
He just didn't live up to the hype.
Balotelli was tragic, but Babel was actually quite good for a while.
I remember going over for, which game was this? There's been a few games I watched Balotelli actually, but there's one in particular where we drew with, it was the Champions League game, the year we were in the Champions League under Brendan Rodgers, and we played at home. Was it a Russian side or something we got drawn in that year? Or some, God, I'm trying to think who they were.
Was this the 2015 one?
Yeah, begins with L. I can't remember.
Ludogorets.
Yeah, Ludogorets. I remember going over to see that game, and we drew 1-1, I think, because of a late penalty. If I remember, either Balotelli.
No, we won that 2-1.
Oh, we won
scored
2-1.
penalty
Yeah,
in,
yeah. Sorry.
93rd minute, I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
So I remember he scored that, and I was thinking, there it is now. That's his first goal. He'll plough on from there. I think he scored like 2 more goals in the next season.
I remember just screaming at him so many times, just to fucking move, make a run, do something. But just watching him stand around just did my head in.
Oh, he was such a twat, wasn't he? And he was just useless.
He's done okay at Nice, to be fair. And I think it looks like he might have got a move to Marseille out of it.
Where is he now? Is that Nice?
He was at Nice. I'm not sure if his contract is up at Nice, if he only had a short-term deal, but there's been a few clubs sniffing around him. Sarah says, what do you guys think of Insigne from Napoli? He's a player that's infuriated me watching, Sarah, because there's no doubt he has ability and bags of it, but he's a greedy little shit a lot of the time, and he tries to take on too much, and I don't know if it's because he feels the weight of Napoli trying to win that Scudetto and wants to take some of the weight off other players and take responsibility, but at times I've seen him take pot shots and do things from ridiculous areas that he just shouldn't be trying. So I think if he was to come into a bigger club or somewhere like Liverpool perhaps, where he knows he doesn't have to be the number one, the go-to guy, with a manager like Jurgen Klopp that would tell him to, kind of just take his time, Connor, and there's no big rush on things, and just keep backing himself and playing the way he's playing, I think he'd probably improve a lot.
Yeah, he definitely has the ability. It's just like you said, just if he was at a bigger club, maybe with better players around him, he could be world class. Might be worth taking a shot on him. How old is he? 25 or 6?
Is he even that old, actually?
I think he's about that, mid-20s,
Yeah, he is. I wouldn't put him in the same breath as Dybala, though. I wouldn't put him anywhere near that category of footballer.
No, he's a bit under that. Dybala's kind of that,
He'd probably put him in a
second tier
Fekir.
player, isn't he?
I'd say he might be a Fekir quality player.
Yeah, he probably is. I haven't seen a lot of Insigne yet, to be honest, but what I have seen, yeah, he is a very skillful player. The
Junior asks, Maguire or Lascelles from Newcastle? probably say Maguire, but I never thought I'd hear myself say that.
Yeah, judging on the World Cup performances, you'd have to say Maguire. Just
Yeah,
how solid he's looked.
yeah, I mean, and he does have that massive, massive head as well, to be fair. There's lots of this or this in the chat, by the way. Lots of would you want this guy or this guy, or
Yeah, see it there. Seen earlier, they're all debating.
just going through. Somebody says they'd like Aspilicueta, and that would make your missus happy. Him going to Liverpool, would it?
Oh, I would fucking love if we got him.
He is
pissed off so many
31 or
people.
something though, isn't he? I mean, he is quite old at this point.
I don't think he's that old. He's like 28.
I thought he was 30. Although I think everyone's 29 or 30, so.
Everyone does seem to be that age.
The juniors, and this is one that I do want to answer actually. Christian Pulisic or Leon Bailey? Christian Pulisic for me every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Just because I have a bit of a thing for Christian Pulisic playing
I think
for
you're in
Liverpool.
love with him.
I think I might have a bit of a man crush on him, to be fair.
Aspilicueta is 28.
So that's what I said, 30.
30, yeah.
Yeah, 28's the new 30.
Just some information for you as well. Dybala, you know the Dybala news from Football Mercado.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Remember the 90 million fee or something?
You're going to piss all over me cornflakes here, but go on.
No, this is going to be good. Dybala follows that paper that said that.
Interesting.
What if that actually means anything, I don't know.
Oh,
But
nailed on. That's what it means. Pablo Dybala to Liverpool, nailed on. You heard it here first. Pablo Dybala brought
stick the
to you
house
in
on it.
association with Diachav.
stick the house on it.
Exactly. I mean, if you're not running to the bookies right now and taking this month's mortgage and sticking it on it, like, I mean, what's the point? Damo says Conte starring in The Green Mile. Pretty much is, to be fair, isn't he?
It's a good show. I like that one.
Green Mile was a great movie. It really was. I mean, that's probably a movie you actually wouldn't thought I'd have watched, Connor, but I actually have seen it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something you'd watch. You would like, oh, it'll have to be really realistic.
I think my parents had it on or something and I just sat through it one night. I think I do like Tom Hanks as an actor, though, to be fair. I think he's very underrated.
Yeah, he's very good.
Here's a question for you now from the junior. Bobby, Kane or Aguero? Like, I think we can rule Aguero out of that one straight away because he's getting on a bit. I think that would be fair to rule out.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say Bobby.
I'd have Bobby as well. I mean, definitely, I'd have Bobby.
I think Kane's probably a better striker, like, overall. Depends what kind of style of play you want, like. Like, for us, just Bobby every day of the week.
Yeah, for somebody like Chelsea or United, I think Harry Kane would probably be a better choice.
Yeah, Kane at United would be class. He would tear it up there.
I think they secretly all thought they'd get him as well at some point. I think if
Might
Ferguson was still there, they probably would have got him.
He might still go there.
He may do, but so much for there being one of their own if he ever does. Lubac asks, Sporty Spice or Baby Spice? Simple question for me, Baby Spice.
I couldn't really give a shit either way, to be honest.
Although Sporty Spice, to be fair, is a massive Liverpool fan, so you got to give her that one. Steve just said, I just realised Donnarumma is 6'5", crikey. He is, yeah. He's almost as big as what's his face? Courtois' nose is long.
Postman Pat.
Do you ever see? I've seen some goalkeepers around his height that almost have to fall to the ground before the shots hit to get there. Like, they almost have to guess that the shot's going to be hit along the ground to get down in time.
Yeah, like, it's actually a skill, isn't it, to get down that quickly? You don't think about it too much.
Like, if you see in training the goalkeepers getting up and down, up and down, up and down really quickly, I mean, that is really hard.
Yeah, like, they make it look easy at times, but it's actually ridiculous.
To save a shot, get back up, get back into position to save another shot. I mean, it takes a lot of good footwork and really good reactions.
Yeah, you'd know yourself, wouldn't you, after playing in goal when you're younger.
I can't tell you the amount of drills that I did over the years doing exactly just that. Like, it really fucking hurts. Like, it really takes it out of you.
You'd want the padding in the sleeves, wouldn't you?
And the shorts, the tracky bottoms. You want it all, like, yeah. Especially some of the fucking...
I don't know how keepers play in short sleeves.
I do. I
be fucked from jumping around.
I'd understand it on the type of pitches they're fucking playing on, to be fair. I mean, they're playing on basically snooker tables. I mean, some of the stuff we were playing on, you were kicking stones and fucking cans of beer and stuff out of your way. I played
Yeah,
on
it's a
one
lot more
pitch
hazardous.
before where you could only see the crossbar of the other goal from the goal I was in. That's how much of a fucking divot or hill there was in the field, like. And this was a pretty like well established football club as well, I should say. It wasn't some shitty team from the arsehole of nowhere. And
So,
Crosby Red says league will be a 3-horse race this season. Arsenal and Chelsea are a mess, and Jose will be sacked by Christmas.
or they actually saying Spurs have a chance then.
Gather so. Well, do you know what? To be fair, like if Spurs, a few good additions and Spurs aren't a million miles away. Because sometimes I feel like people underestimate how important unity is in keeping the players at the team. So I was listening to somebody talking about the call that Pochettino made on selling Kyle Walker, and that he looked at Kyle Walker's body shape and Kyle Walker's physicality and just thought that he didn't suit his system, and that Kieran Trippier would suit it a lot more.
Yeah, and it seems to have worked out in it, hasn't it?
And yeah, he got 50 million fucking quid from as well.
That was brilliant. Like, Daniel Levy's just a genius when it comes to transfers.
He really is. Look at the bail money as well. Like a player that was it a game or two away from getting transferred under Harry Redknapp before he changed his position.
Yeah, I think so. Then you see what happened from there then, like.
Lubac says Pantilimon was 6'7". He was an absolute monster. He was the former Sunderland keeper, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at Watford as well, I think.
Yeah, he was an absolute giant.
Imagine being that tall. Imagine trying to walk around anywhere.
Yeah, imagine trying to get clothes. Defo going into Mr. Big to get his clothes.
You try to get through doorways after you're bending down. Your back enough just being bits.
Imagine your bird though. You'd have to, imagine him going out with a bird that's around 5'3" or 5'4".
She literally need a stepladder.
Or would she? Depends what she's doing. Sean makes a damn good point. We deserve this now, the shit we've been through. Which is fair. We do deserve the success. We've earned it.
Yeah, we have, to be fair, haven't we?
But it does feel like the start of something special, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely building to something like people were disappointed after the final, but it wasn't like depression or anything because we all know it's only the start of it.
Jesus, there really is a lot of X or Y in this chat, isn't there? There's so many people, like Ronaldo or Messi, for instance. Well, that's Messi all day long for me. It shouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah, let's see. Danny's back in the chat. Remember the fellow who asked me was I going to Jack's?
Oh yeah.
He's asking Oasis or Blur.
Oasis, buddy. Every day of the week.
Oasis.
Every day of the week. I was big fans of both, to be fair, but definitely Oasis. I'm so proud that my daughter started listening to Oasis actually recently.
Really, yeah.
And not because I've rammed it down her throat, but just likes the music and. Oh, sorry, I think I froze there for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what went on. The computer just froze there for a second. Apologies, guys. I was starting to freak out there. I was waiting for the computer to start closing down. I was going, no.
I thought it was my internet gone for a second.
No, it was me. I forgot to put another 50p back in the meter.
Oh yeah, shit.
Diet Chav money's running out, Connor. We need to do a new round of funding.
Is that the code? Is that go robbing her bank?
That's it, yeah. Another inside job. By the way, while we're talking about robbing banks and shit, will they fuck off with this Ocean's 8 nonsense?
I haven't even seen anything
It's
about
all
it.
female.
I haven't even seen anything
Fucking
about
Sandra
that.
Bullock. I can't remember who else is in it. But like, regardless of who's in it, like, I mean, fuck off. What's with all this remaking of films with just female casts?
The Ghostbusters made no sense. You see that one?
And look, I'm all for females having more prominent roles in society, but like, at least go make original films, like the remaking Ocean's 8.
Yeah, the one that really pissed me off was them trying to James Bond a woman. Like, what is the point?
I know, yeah, sorry, I'm just
Wouldn't even
laughing
make
in the
sense,
chat
like.
here. Joseph says, holy shit, Craig just drank water, what the fuck? Don't worry, Joseph. Diet Chav here as well, buddy. I'm just trying to mix it up because it's very warm today. I know. I've just said to Connor before we start recording or doing the stream, the amount of this shit that I must have put through my body over the last few days. I try and have one bottle of water for every 2 cans of Diet Chav.
You're a machine.
Lubac says Paddy Berger or Adam Lallana, and that do you know what? That is a really, really good comparison right there.
Yeah, who do you think? What do you think?
I'd probably say Paddy Berger, if I'm being honest. I'd probably go Berger.
He's a bit before my time, to be honest. I don't know an awful lot about him.
Wonderful head of hair.
Lallana's hair, nice hair though as well.
Yeah, it does have a patch.
What are you used to?
On Paddy Berger. Oh, that Patrick Berger was one hell of a footballer, to be fair. That's a really good question, mate. Probably the best comparison I've seen in there tonight. And I'd take Paddy Berger, but I'd love to know what some of you lads think. Lubac saying Sandra Bollocks. What is it about this this or tonight? Like Britney Spears or Madonna? Somebody's asking. If the answer to there has to be Madonna.
Like,
if you're talking from a musical
away.
standpoint, It has to be Madonna. Like, but I say these questions are shit, but here I am answering every single one of them, taking them all personally and all. It has to be Madonna, for fuck's sake. It has to be. Skipper Dog says Paddy Berger by a mile. I'm with you there, mate. He's a really, really good footballer, Patrick Berger. Sean Lund says, I won't question Klopp. He's got a lot of time in my eyes. He completely changed their club. It's marvellous being a Red at the minute. It really is. I mean, just think back, Connor, to before Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool Football Club. Just think of how the fan base was. Think of the travesty of the Champions League campaign that we had under Brendan Rodgers. I mean, we basically rolled over and had our bellies tickled twice when we played Real Madrid.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And then, like, even this last few games, it's like 6-1 against Stoke. Like, how did he not get sacked after that? Like, he stayed on for another few games the following season. He should have been gone then.
Yeah, it's nuts. What Joseph said, that's sexist. I'm not idea if that's aimed at me or not, but I don't know if it is, whatever. Leave it be. Conor versus Khabib, that's an interesting fight as well. Will you stop with the Harry Potter and Star Wars nonsense, for fuck's sake? Right, is there any football topics, any football questions, any half-10 transfer news actually, Connor? Anything come out that we missed? I'm gonna have a little. Oh, that's a question. Yeah, that's the one. The Battle of the Legends. The answer will probably be Chris or Dave. Yeah, everyone loves a bit of Dave, don't they? I'm just gonna read back to the agenda because I feel I missed something that I wanted to talk about. Oh, do you know what? We touched on this at the start, but we didn't really ask the guys about it. What do you think of the third kit, guys? More and more images of that after being leaked out. I'm sure Connor, you probably put some out on Twitter as well, or people have seen them on Twitter. What do you think of this new third kit? Are you fans? Do you hate it? Me and Connor are split on it. I really, really like it, but Connor's not really fussed. Is that fair to say? Oh, Sarah straight in with Connor. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that. You're definitely not getting a Christmas card. Definitely. Oh no, you're defo getting. Sarah's not getting the Christmas card. You're defo getting a gift from Simpsons Land. Oh, you've nothing to worry about, buddy. No, it's alright. I mean, I'd probably answer Connor as well, to be fair, if I was to answer that one. Louis thinks the new kit is ugly. I don't know. I think it's just for me that it kind of brings back memories of my first kit. So I'll definitely be getting this jersey 100%. I won't be going full kit wanker like. No, can you imagine? I come on here in the stream one night, full kit on, captain's armband and everything. That would be priceless. Did I ever show you the panda head that I want to buy, that I'm going to bring back from America this year when I go over there? I'm telling you, it's top of my list when I go over there, things to buy. I'm 100% coming back. I'm going to do a stream with that panda head on. In through customs, passport controlling on, panda head fully on. No fucking about. I'm actually trying to find the image now so I can show the people in the chat, just in case they're wondering what the fuck I'm talking about. We were over on holidays. I don't think it was last year actually. I think it was the year before. We were in, I think it was Walmart, and they can't hear you. You're definitely coming through. Sean says I can't hear Connor. Connor isn't speaking, Craig. Okay, let me just check this. Okay, bear with me, guys. You're coming through on my end. Has Connor been gone through, like, since Connor's come back? Have you guys heard Connor since he's come back at all, or has there been no Connor at all since he's rejoined? Okay, bear with me. Which one are you? Going through the input captures here. So that one. Bear with me. I'll get Connor back in. Don't you worry. Which one is it though? Yeah, that we'll try that. Bear with me. One sec, guys. We'll try that. Hopefully it works. Okay, so let's try get Connor back in. Apologies, guys, but thanks for letting me know that he dropped out because none of the settings had changed, so it makes no sense. Oh, hi, hopefully we've got you. Bear with me. I'm just going to check a few more settings just to make sure. Okay, so hopefully we've got Connor. Can you guys just confirm in the chat to me if you can hear what Connor's saying? I'm hoping to God they can. Hear me now. Yep, the Raptor says yep. Connor's gone for a quickie. Is Connor back to you guys? Just let me know in the chat if Connor's back. Just give me a couple of nopes. The Raptor says nope. Right, fuck's sake, Connor. What are you after doing to me? Okay. Oh, hang on. We actually have an issue this time. Bear with me. No, it actually... I'm trying to figure out where the hell this input capture is. Video's there, so it's not that one. Okay. I'm trying to find where the... do you know what? I'll hit a plus and see if that works. If in doubt, just keep adding in fucking streams, yeah? Okay, hopefully this works.
Craig definitely killed Connor.
Is Connor back there now, guys?
Danny, Craig did not kill me. Still no Connor.
Still no Connor. He should be back in there. He should definitely be
back in by now. No. Sean Dunn said here he is. Hey, I'm back.
Hey, brilliant, right, cool.
Yeah, I just went for another quickie, lad, sorry.
Yeah, he was just off for another wank, or should I say he was checking on another batch of Diet meth. Great, that's brilliant. Thanks, guys, and apologies for that being fucked up. It's completely all Connor's fault.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
It felt like people were very upset there, by the way, that Connor disappeared.
I think they always missed my soulful tones as who was it said that a minute ago.
I'm going back to this fucking chat, by the way, to see who said Connor and who said Craig. I'm looking through it now. Oh, that's how pitiful I am, guys. Sarah says, Craig, I still love your smile. I don't think I ever do smile, to be fair. Not very often, anyway. I'm one of those people that, you know, when you're in a photo and they say smile. Well, here's my smile for family pictures. That's about the extent of my fucking smile when I smile. I think I have to be genuinely laughing to actually smile, because I can't do the fake smile.
That's the only time I've ever seen you smile now.
Yeah, I don't really smile. I laugh, but I don't really smile too much. I think it's because I have a tiny little mouth. A huge amount of shy comes out of it. But yeah, I think I've got it. I'm still going through this chat and I'm seeing no Connor.
Lubac said Barry White's in the house.
Call the police. He's definitely killed Connor.